Hello and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School Lady Bear Soccer. Hi, I'm Scott White alongside Charlie Namo, and Charlie joins us for the first time in our Channel 8 broadcast booth. To let you know who Charlie is, he played collegiate soccer at both Rutgers and Seton Hall. He's currently a coach at Rawway and also plays semi-professionally. Charlie, welcome to our booth.
Welcome.
Today it's East Brunswick against Randolph in the Group 4 state championships. East Brunswick's been here a few times in the past. Randolph also a name around these parts. Let's find out a little bit about Randolph. They come in today with a 19-2-2 record. What do we know about Randolph?
Well, not knowing much about Randolph, I was watching them in the kick around. They look to be a big, physical, most likely fast team. I think they're fueled by the Gubatoza sisters, and I think they're pretty strong in the back with a very good keeper. So East Brunswick have to get a lot of shots early, get them off guard.
The Gubatoza sisters are something that Coach Lou Cosa said they're going to key in on for East Brunswick. Now let's talk about East Brunswick. They come in 18-2-3. They've been here 6 times already. Coach Lou Cosa has brought this team here many times. What do we know about this year's club?
This year's club is pretty impressive. I was at the Shawnee game, and they recently won 2-1 in the semifinal. Up front, they have an attack of 4 players. You got Rabbi, Gill, Kelly, and Bongiovanni. Today, I looked for Jeannie Rabbi in her last game as a senior at East Brunswick to take charge and score a couple goals. Maybe they could play her into space, get her to have a lot of shots on goal because she could definitely hit a ball right and left foot. So she could be very dangerous today for Randolph.
Okay, to get here, East Brunswick beat Shawnee this past week 2-1. You mentioned that. On the flip side, Randolph completely outplayed their opponent, Ridgewood. They beat them 4-0. Earlier in the year, East Brunswick saw Ridgewood and lost. How will that play into the dynamics of today's game?
Well, that's all mental right there. As long as the East Brunswick girls don't think about that, because anybody can be anybody in any given day. We all know that in any sport. But I just think they got to show up to play and play Randolph and not worry about Randolph's past. Not know nothing about Randolph. That's the best thing they could do.
And finally, one thing that we talk about every year, and it really plays into the game, we're here at Trenton State, and you'll see in a few moments, it is an AstroTurf field. The girls don't see AstroTurf all year. They play on grass. How will that play into today's game?
Well, from what I hear, both teams luckily had the chance to play on AstroTurf this week. So that definitely will help the girls because it is a much faster surface. A lot of times they're going to try to play a long ball, it's going to roll out of bounds. So if the girls are smart enough to play to feet a little more than to space, things should be fine today.
There you have it. It's East Brunswick at 18-2-3 against Randolph at 19-2-2. It's the Group 4 state championship, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. We're at Trenton State College, a very familiar sight for East Brunswick fans. East Brunswick now making their 6th appearance here. They'll take on Randolph today. As we told you in the pregame, Randolph comes in with a 19-2-2 record. East Brunswick 18-2-3. And Charlie, they're coming in with a 16-game winning streak, or a 16-game unbeaten streak, I should say, on the line.
Yes, they finished strong at the end of the season, and comes down here to the final where they're playing a team they don't know much about. They just got to come out to play. Whoever comes out to play first, play smarter soccer, should take this game today.
We will see what happens. Let's run down the starters for you. First for Randolph in the back, they have a senior in goal for them, April Koss in the backfield. They play a 3-4-3. Heather Steinman, a senior, is a fullback. Sayer Pretty is their junior sweeper, and Lindsay Steiger, the sophomore fullback. In the midfield, a couple of sophomores, Susie Hutchins and Kelly Gubatoza. We spoke about the Gubatoza sisters in the pregame. Right next to Kelly, we have Dana Gubatoza, and she's one to watch. We had mentioned that Coach Lou Cosa had mentioned her when we spoke about who to key in on during today's game, so we'll watch her from the midfield. Also, something to note, only one freshman on the park today, and that's Kristen Mooney. Now, we spoke ahead of time with the coach from Randolph, and she had mentioned the 2 players in the midfield for her to watch out are Dana Gubatoza and Kristen Mooney, so we'll see how they work together and set up the dynamics of today's game. As we move up front, 3 sophomores up front for Randolph, Amanda Artisan, Jennifer Weideberg, and Jessica Newpert. For East Brunswick, some familiar names in the backfield. Senior goalkeeper Betsy Ostroff. Let's mention that East Brunswick plays a modified 5-3-2, what Coach Lou Cosa terms a 3-2-3-2. The 3 backs being Kerry Herman, a senior, Stacy Morgan, also a senior, and Allison Friedman, the sophomore sweeper. The 2 stoppers are Amy Bizup and Nicole Douglas. In the midfield, you have Kristen Bongiovanni, Erin Kelly, and Jamie Lizer. Up front, senior Jeannie Rabbi, and the junior Hartaj Gill. There you have the players. They're coming out onto the field as you oversee the Trenton State College field. It's the site of the group of all state championships here in the state of New Jersey. And, you know, something that we spoke about off camera before the game is the potential for this game to be moved to Rutgers, a brand new 5,000-seat grass facility, a lighted facility. Here you have the turf. It's not really central New Jersey, whereas that's central to the state. Maybe something we'll see in the future.
That's right, and more importantly, you like to get, especially high school, on the grass fields. Just to briefly note it, that the NCAA tournament doesn't even let teams play on turf. So maybe we should look at maybe getting the high school to play on turf in the finals.
We'll see what happens.
Much nicer game. Much nicer game on the grass.
It is. That's really where the game is supposed to be played, and we'll see how that plays into today's dynamics. It's something we talk about every year about how this game does not belong on turf, and these players aren't prepared to play on turf. We'll see what happens. The stands are rather sparse today. It is a nice afternoon, and it is the state championships. Very few fans on hand. We are underway as we let you know. Randolph is moving from left to right in their white jerseys on your screen, and East Brunswick from right to left in green. For Randolph. Randolph takes control out on that far side, running it. You see Dana Gubatosa already in control of the ball. East Brunswick will turn it around and poke it out of bounds on the far side. It'll be a throw-in. Some sort of throw-in on that far side. I guess she lost control of the ball, so now it'll be a throw-in one more time for Randolph, and quickly cleared out by East Brunswick. Randolph taking the kickoff and dominating so far in the first minute of this game. Just underway, about 40 seconds in, no score, East Brunswick and Randolph. It's the Group 4 state championships. Randolph in control on the far side. We have a trip called against East Brunswick. The first infraction of the afternoon. It'll be a Randolph kick on the far side. Over to take it for Randolph, Heather Steinman, the senior fullback. At 40 yards out on the far side, just off the touchline. Note that the blue lines, if you can see those on your screen, are the out of bounds. There are a number of lines out on this field as the ball bounces around inside the 18. Good opportunity for Randolph. It's headed out of bounds by East Brunswick. We will see a corner kick for Randolph. Over to take the corner kick, Kelly Gubatosa.
It's a nice dead ball play by Randolph there, flighting a long ball from about 35 out to the center of the D. Pretty dangerous there early in the game for Randolph.
Randolph pulls 5 players out, top of the 18. They'll race in and see if the ball can be cleared out. Betsy Ostroff picks it up. Possibly a ball bounced up and seemed to have hit off the hand of a defender in the back there, but the referee didn't catch it.
Yeah, it looked pretty unintentional. A little bit harmless, but could have been a handball call there.
Early in on the game, hate to see a game of this stature decided by a penalty kick, so it's cleared out, a goal kick there, no penalty kick. The ball's cleared out on the far side. Just stays in. Thought it would roll out as we're still getting adjusted to the lines also. As I was saying, it's the blue lines that are the out-of-bounds lines. This field is also lined for football, lacrosse, field hockey, and probably a few other sports that we can't quite pick up on. East Brunswick, their first offensive attack, brings it up over midfield and loses it out of bounds on the far side. Last touched by East Brunswick. It'll be a Randolph throw-in. Over the head of Susie Hutchins and bounces to a couple of East Brunswick players. Stepping up for East Brunswick, Kerry Herman. She'll clear it upfield. No one controlling. Finally, a quick header by Bongiovanni, about 40 yards off the end line. But East Brunswick really not controlling yet. It's, I guess, a feeling out period early on in the game.
Yes, they must get used to the bounces the ball's taken on the turf. And they got to spread it out and try to put some more balls to feet.
East Brunswick in control, middle third of the field. Ball comes near side. Over on the near side, that's Jamie Leiser that hit the ball up as we still get it adjusted. Jamie Leiser now on the near side. She'll send the ball up, one bounce, and taking control of it on this near side. Bongiovanni, she'll try to chase it into the corner. It is a fast turf. The ball will be poked out of bounds on the near side. A throw in the corner. So from the corner kick position, it'll be a throw in for East Brunswick. Into the corner to take that throw in for East Brunswick, Jamie Leiser. Leiser with a couple of steps. She'll put the ball in one bounce and to the head of a Randolph player headed out. Leiser will get a right-footed crack at it, sends it into the 18, and one more time cleared out by Randolph. East Brunswick will try to reload on this near side, trying to send it back in with Stacy Morgan, but she couldn't get it through the Randolph player. Now Morgan will chase it out of bounds. Ricocheted off of Morgan, a good play by the Randolph player, that being Jennifer Weideberg, that bounced that ball out. So it'll be a throw-in on the near side for Randolph. Randolph sends it down the near side touchline, coming over to knock that ball out in the backfield. Allison Friedman, the sweeper for East Brunswick. So it'll be one more throw-in for Randolph. Taking the throw-in on the near side this time, Kelly Gubatosa. Going to get some sort of call in the backfield. It'll be a restart for East Brunswick. East Brunswick not wasting any time, but really wasting a restart as it was sent right to the head of a Randolph player. That Kelly Gubatosa headed right back toward East Brunswick's direction. And again, no one really dominating yet. Now running onto it for Randolph. See who's in control of it. A support pass dropped out for Randolph, that being Kelly Gubitosa one more time. Gubitosa left-footed shot into the box. It'll bounce twice and out of bounds. Over that far side end line, it'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. 35 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in this first half. We have no scoring. We have no shots on goal as of yet. One bounce and a little bit of a scurry earlier on that Betsy Ostroff had to come up with. And a corner kick for Randolph. But other than that, really no offensive attacks mounted yet.
That last possession, Randolph looked pretty good, controlling the ball in the middle of the field, deep in East Brunswick's territory.
It's important that we mention the middle of the field. We hadn't really spoke about that, but both teams really, both coaches had mentioned it's something that soccer fans know. To win games, you really need to control the middle third of the field. And both coaches today had mentioned that when we spoke to them prior to the game, that they need to win the middle third of the field. And, so far, neither team really dominating the middle third. As we had mentioned, a feeling out period. Randolph seems to have the edge so far, as they've had more shots, that being a shot on goal right there on Betsy Ostroff, and they've kept the ball in the offensive half of the field most of these first 5 minutes.
Yeah, East Brunswick right now got to find their composure, settle down a little bit at the back, and like I said before, play balls out wide into the ground and establish some sort of possession.
On this near side, Morgan gets beat. It'll be chased into the corner and last poked out by an East Brunswick player. Probably last touch in the backfield by Allison Friedman coming over from her sweeper roll. So it'll be another corner kick. Kelly Gubitosa one more time to take the corner kick for Randolph. She plays the ball down one more time. Randolph puts 5 people at the top of the 18 as they race in on the kick. Couple of players now. She gets set, raises her hand, drops it on this near side. The ball is right-footed crossed into the middle. And one touched out by East Brunswick, quickly sent right back in by Randolph. High and wide over that far side. That was Heather Steinman from her fullback role taking that left-footed shot. A little bit wide, but Randolph really is chipping away and getting their shots in there.
It's that time the defender slipped in front of Hartaj Gill to poke that shot up toward East Brunswick goal.
Clear down on a goal kick near side, and the ball will roll out of bounds, and the referee is going to signal it being an East Brunswick throw-in, last off the head of a Randolph player, Dana Gubitosa. So throwing on the near side, ball is put into play. Over to take the header that time was Bon Giovanni. The ball is knocked out of bounds one more time, and Coach Lucosa signaling for East Brunswick. The Randolph team signaling it should be their throw-in. The referee agrees with Coach Lucosa. It'll be an East Brunswick throw-in on the near side. Stacey Morgan over to take the throw-in. She'll put the ball down the touchline right to the head one more time of Kelly Gubitosa. That's a name we've called so far about 15 times in the first 7 minutes. She's controlling that midfield for Randolph. Now far side for Randolph. Susie Hutchins brings it up on that far side. Hutchins in control. Cuts back on the East Brunswick player, brings it up over midfield, sends to that far side corner. Amanda Artizone will chase, run onto it. A fast turf, it'll bounce off the cone and over the end line. It should be a goal kick, and the referee does signal it is a goal kick for East Brunswick. A very fast turf, we spoke about it before. We'll speak about it again. You'll see on those long balls, it's very difficult to play a long ball soccer when you're not familiar with the turf.
That's right. If you're not a particularly fast team, you don't want to be playing long balls to the corners on turf, that's for sure.
We have a substitution for Randolph now checking into the ballgame for Randolph. Amanda Toskovich, a junior striker. She'll check in for Randolph. So Randolph already trying to shake things up front, see if they can put one in the back of the net early on in this ballgame. The ball is cleared out, but one more time, waiting for Kelly Gubitosa. She'll lose it on that far side, a through pass, but no one running onto it. A bit of a delayed reaction. Now finally running onto it, Hartaj Gill. Gill will try to control it, but loses control in the middle of the field. Also in on that one, Rabi, but Randolph comes up the better half of it. One more time to the backfield. Allison Friedman will clear it out. She says seen a lot of action from her sweeper roll. Now on the far side, Susie Hutchins will chase it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Over to take this throw-in, Erin Kelly. So Kelly has the throw-in on the far side, just over midfield. She puts the ball in play down the touchline, looking for Rabbit. It'll take one bounce, and again, no East Brunswick player will run onto it. East Brunswick a little slow in reacting, quickly off the head of Kelly and out of bounds on the far side touchline. 31 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in this first half. It's the Group 4 state championships from Trenton State College. Randolph and East Brunswick, we have no score.
Right now, Randolph's using the field a little bit better than East Brunswick is. When East Brunswick's on attack, they're basically using from the middle of the field over. They want to spread it out more. If they're gonna get anything established, they got to spread the field out here.
Okay, you mentioned spreading it out. Let me ask you something. This is a very wide field, wider than probably these players play on all year. How does that play into their game plans?
Well, basically, it's really not playing into their game plans because they're not using it. What they should do is, on offense, they really should take the ball from the middle instead of forcing up the middle. Okay, take it out of the middle, put it to the outside, and then they can play from there. All right, the last possession we saw a couple minutes ago, we had Bongiovanni trying to force the ball down the middle, where she had the outside midfielder here to play the ball to give herself some more room to work off the ball.
Okay, so we'll see if either team capitalizes on using the flanks. It'll be a throw-in on the near side for Randolph. It's headed out of bounds, and now we'll see an East Brunswick throw-in. Quick throw-in for East Brunswick. One bounce. Trying to control it on this near side. Bongiovanni, the ball rolls out of bounds. It'll be another throw-in for East Brunswick. One more time, taking the throw-in on the near side, Jamie Lizer. She'll put the ball to the center of the field. Quick header by Randolph. One bounce, and now cleared out by Randolph. Susie Hutchins coming across from her far side. Now one bounce at the middle third of the field. Off the head of Amy Bizup, up over midfield, and now an opportunity for East Brunswick. Off the leg of Rabi. She can't control it. She'll run onto it with a second effort, but again, unable to control the ball. Rabi will chase the ball back, flick the ball up over her head. The referee's going to signal a dangerous play. The fans not really happy with that one. Neither is the East Brunswick bench. No real players around, and it didn't really appear as if the cleats came up in that vertical position, but nonetheless, the referee is going to give an indirect kick to Randolph.
Yeah, I think we're looking at our first shady call of the game there.
Ball is put into play up over midfield, finding a Randolph player. Randolph maintains control. We had a couple more substitutions for Randolph, so we'll catch up those numbers for you as the game progresses. East Brunswick will run it into that far side corner. Trying to clear it out that time was Carrie Herman. She had some problems from the sweeper roll. Allison Friedman will clear it out over the far side touchline. Randolph throwing. Quickly, the ball's put into play. Two bounces inside the 18-yard line. Good opportunity for Randolph inside the box. It is cleared out. Actually, it was a cross that went a bit errant, and now East Brunswick will send it down the near side touchline. Stepping up, trying to control it, Hartage Gill. She's beat to the ball, and it's poked out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing on the near side.
Once again, the right back for Randolph steps in front of Hartage Gill.
Gill in control of the ball. She gets it around her player, but no one coming onto it. Rabi comes on a second too late, a half a step behind Sayer Pretty, who cleared that ball out. Now the ball, long ball for East Brunswick. Rabi's going to wait for it to bounce. Randolph isn't going to wait for her. They'll clear it out up over that far side, over the head of Kelly on the far side. Now finally running onto it. A bit of speed in the backfield. Carrie Herman probably, as you had mentioned earlier, one of the faster players out on the turf today.
Yes, Carrie, she got to establish her game by gaining some composure there. She could be very dangerous attacking from that position.
East Brunswick will run it up. Gill on the near side. She'll drop a support pass back, turning it up now for East Brunswick. Jamie Lizer. Lizer sends it upfield, but no one there for it, so it's cleared out by Randolph one more time. Right back to Friedman in the sweeper roll. She's been tested a great deal so far early on in this game. East Brunswick tends to substitute a lot, and we'll see if there are substitutions made in the backfield at any time in the near future. Those East Brunswick defenders have done a great deal of running, and we're only 12 minutes into the ball game. It'll be a throw-in on the far side. Wait to see the linesman signaling which way it's going to be a Randolph throw-in. Randolph puts it in very quickly. And the referee, the linesman, is actually going to signal it was an illegal throw, so now Friedman will pick the ball up and put the ball into play. Over the head of Kelly. Randolph will reload, send the ball service into the box, quickly cleared out by East Brunswick. A bit of kick-and-run soccer as the ball's bouncing back and forth. You had mentioned earlier in the game the key to this game is keeping the ball on the ground and controlling the pass, and that's something we haven't seen yet by either team.
Yes, that's right. The game at this point hasn't been attractive yet. I think the girls are still getting used to the fast-paced surface here.
Throwing on the far side for East Brunswick. Rabi tries to control it. She loses it out of bounds. She picks it up thinking it's an East Brunswick throw, and the linesman disagrees. He's going to award it to Randolph. Randolph will put the ball into play quickly off the head of Susie Hutchins. Waiting there, East Brunswick will send it back into their offensive half of the field. Bit of pinball soccer on the far side. Finally, the ball is sent up field by Bongiovanni. Bounces it around. Gill tries to control it. Now Rabi in on it. She tries to fend off two players. Unable to do so. The second player beats her to the ball. The ball sent out of bounds over the far side touchline. Should be an East Brunswick throw, and it is, in fact, Carrie Herman over to take the throw in for East Brunswick. She'll put the ball in, and off the head of Susie Hutchins on the far side. It'll be another East Brunswick throw, and the referee is going to stop playing. We have our first East Brunswick substitution. Now checking in for East Brunswick, Tiffany Bloor. Coming out to take a seat on the bench, a name that you had called a number of times, Hartage Gill. So Gill having some problems, being a bit of dominated up in this offensive half of the field. Coach Kosa seeing the same thing. He makes a substitution. Now we see Tiffany Bloor in the game for East Brunswick. East Brunswick and Randolph both running onto it. East Brunswick winning that 50-50 ball now. Control East Brunswick far side, trying to send the ball in for East Brunswick. That was Nicole Douglas, unable to find another player, so it's sent out. And now East Brunswick's on the attack one more time. Randolph with an opportunity, but cleared out again by East Brunswick from the backfield. In the middle of the field, in control now, Kristen Mooney. We had mentioned earlier, she's the only freshman on the park today on either side of the ball. That was Kristen Mooney for Randolph. Now the ball rolls toward that far side touchline, over to control it. Good opportunity now for East Brunswick. Rabbie pokes the ball away. She's going to cross it into the middle and right into the hands of a waiting goalkeeper. First time we'll call this name, April Koss. She drops it, but no one there to follow up on the drop ball. We'll have to keep an eye on that, on the Koss's ability to pull down the crosses. She'll send it right up the middle, waiting for it that time for East Brunswick. Was Bon Giovanni. We have an infraction. It'll be a restart situation for East Brunswick. Good scoring opportunity now. It'll be their first restart in the offensive half of the field.
Yeah, I look for Jeannie Rabbie to get a hit on this if she can.
So Rabbie lines up on the 18-yard line. Bon Giovanni sets the ball down about 35 yards out. Dead center. Randolph holds the line at the 18. The ball is sent straight into a Randolph player, and now Bon Giovanni will try to control it. She drops back for support pass to Lizer. Lizer chip ball inside the 18, waiting for a Rabbie. Rabbie pokes it through to Bloor, but it's cleared out quickly by Randolph. One bounce in the middle third of the field. It'll come up toward the midfield line. Two East Brunswick players coming up with it. East Brunswick will send the ball right back into their offensive half of the field. Now the ball just outside the 18 is cleared out by Randolph. Last touch, Dana Gubitosa will send it out toward that far side touchline, over to cleared up one more time. Allison Friedman from the backfield finds the head of Rabbie. A couple of players, Bon Giovanni will now come onto it. Bon Giovanni sends middle for Bloor. Bloor one touch, looking for Rabbie, running onto it, not running through on that through ball. It'll roll toward the far side touchline, and Randolph will poke it out of bounds. It'll be an East Brunswick throwing on the far side. Kelly over to take it. She put the ball over an East Brunswick player, that being Rabbie, and it's cleared out by Randolph over that far side touchline again. East Brunswick having a throwing opportunity. Kelly over to take it one more time. Looking this time for Bon Giovanni. Rabbie getting a head on it. Cleared out again by Randolph, this time over the head of Lizer. She tries to control it. She'll chase it back, look maybe for support pass. Randolph will box around it, and the ball is poked out of bounds by East Brunswick. It'll be a throw-in for Randolph. 23 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in this first half. East Brunswick and Randolph tied at 0. Middle third of the field controlled by East Brunswick. Sent up over midfield, looking for maybe Bloor there, but unable to control it. Randolph will send it back into their offensive half of the field. Randolph winning that 50-50 ball, but East Brunswick will clear it out. Now one more time, Kerry Herman far side. Ball sent out of bounds over the far side touchline. It'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Kelly over to take it, and Charlie, the first time we've seen East Brunswick really mount an offensive pressure in the last 3 or 4 minutes, a couple of throw-ins, a restart situation, dead center. Maybe they'll start getting some shots off.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, it's going to take teams to get used to the surface, and it looks like in the last few minutes, East Brunswick has done that.
Jamie Lizer will send the ball upfield looking for Rabbie. Rabbie unable to control it. She's double-teamed that time, losing it now, running on the near side. Kelly Gubitosa one more time. She'll drop it off on the near side for Kristen Mooney. Broken up by East Brunswick, now running onto it on the near side for East Brunswick. Bloor lets the ball bounce, tries to cut back on her player. It seems like Bloor is still getting a little used to the turf. She just checked in recently. East Brunswick fans and Coach Lucosa thinking that it last bounced off of Randolph. The referee awards the throw-in to Randolph as it last went off Bloor. Randolph takes the throw in middle of the field. East Brunswick trying to chase him down. Randolph trying to punch one through. Jessica Newport with the ball, looking on a through pass. Can't find anyone, cleared out, waiting for Bon Giovanni. She gets goal side on her player. She'll send the ball down the touchline looking for Rabbie. Rabbie with 2 players to beat. She'll chase it into the corner, maybe get a cross off. Bloor's waiting at the 12-yard line. She tries to get a cross off. It goes right into the Randolph player's leg and out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for East Brunswick. Erin Kelly over to take the corner kick for East Brunswick on that far side.
Very nice play there by Bon Giovanni to muscle her defender off, and they play a nice through ball down the right side to Rabbie.
Bloor and Rabbie inside the 18. A long ball on the near side could be scooped up by Jamie Lizer. Erin Kelly will place the ball down. Also, a couple other East Brunswick players. Bon Giovanni waits for it just about 12 yards out. Also on a long ball that could be poked out. Another East Brunswick player waits for it, Nicole Douglas. The ball is set.
Look, they've gone out of bounds and came back in.
Okay, so the ball went out of bounds. It does start in on a corner kick, so out of bounds over the end line. It is a goal kick for Randolph. Taking the goal kick, April Koss, the senior goalkeeper. A little slow to get it off. Finally, a right-footed ball set right on into the middle third of the field. couple of East Brunswick players waiting for it. Finally poked through by Jamie Lizer. Good scoring opportunity for East Brunswick. One bounce, Bloor running onto it. If she could get around her player, unable to do so, it's sent out. A heads-up play by the defender of Randolph, knowing that she was covered by Bloor. She sent it toward that far side touchline, getting it away from the goal mouth. We'll see another substitution. Earlier in the game, Hartaj Gill, she came out for Tiffany Bloor. Now she'll come right back in. So Gill is back in. A different player will take a seat on the bench, this time for East Brunswick. Taking a seat on the bench is Jamie Lizer. Ball is sent in toward the middle of the field. Good opportunity for Gill, who just checked in. She can't stop, and now it's cleared out. East Brunswick steps up and wins that 50-50 ball on the clear out. Now Friedman one more time at the 50-yard line. Last player to beat, she'll clear it out near side touchline. Running onto it, Kelly Gubitosa one more time.
Excellent tackle that time by number 23, Stacy Morgan.
Morgan with the tackle on Gubitosa. Gubitosa, one of the players to watch. It is strange that Kelly Gubitosa is the name we've called all afternoon. Dana Gubitosa is the senior of the two and the one that everyone said to watch out for, although they're both very dangerous players. Kelly Gubitosa very obviously controlling the middle third of the field for Randolph this afternoon. The ball is sent in under the leg of Bloor. Gill will turn on it and come toward the near side touchline. Good turn, but unable to control it. Still not used to that turf as she just came back in after a brief stint on the bench. Ball will be thrown in on the near side by Heather Steinman. Bounces around. East Brunswick controls. Comes near side for Bloor. Bloor will head it to the middle. No one there to run onto it one more time. Hooked up by Randolph. Now East Brunswick will try to run it up the middle. Rabbie having some problems turning the ball as she's fended pretty well. She's trying to turn on Amanda Artisan, and the ball is sent out of bounds. No opportunity for East Brunswick, really neither team establishing themselves as of yet. The ball rolls out of bounds on that far side. Rabbie couldn't get the ball up. It was a throw-in for Randolph. Now Randolph controls far side touchline, looking to center it up. That time for Randolph was Susie Hutchins. Ball out of bounds again. It'll be another Randolph throw-in, about 30 yards off of the end line, far side touchline. Ball sent right to the head of Kelly. East Brunswick looking to clear it out. Bongiovanni tries to turn on it. Now she's going to have to come across the field with it. Gets it up over the head of the Randolph player. Comes off to Hartaj Gill on the near side touchline. Gill tries to send Rabbie on a through ball. A little bit short. Rabbie's going to have to come around her player. She'll come over toward the near side touchline. Gets it around her player. See if she has the speed to get to it. Another player running onto it. Quickly cleared out. Cleared out one more time. Kelly Gubitosa, a name you don't even have to look down. Might as well just call the name Kelly Gubitosa. She's really dominated the entire field for Randolph. Throw in near side for East Brunswick to take it Bloor. She'll put it in, headed out this time by Randolph. That time the referee called it out of bounds on Dana Gubitosa, so it'll be another East Brunswick throw, and Bloor will take this one. Bloor looking for Gill, a little bit short, headed out again by Kelly Gubitosa. Bloor will chase it down. She has a support pass if she can get to it. Poked out on the near side by Randolph. Be a throw-in. Bloor puts it in play. It'll bounce inside the 18. Gets a good bounce. Good opportunity for East Brunswick. Trying to turn on it that time was Rabbie. Couldn't get all the way around it. A left-footed shot and a bit of a bad angle, but an opportunity nonetheless. 17 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in this first half. East Brunswick and Randolph still tied at 0. April Cost, the goalkeeper, sets the ball down on the 6-yard line and gets set to take the goal kick for Randolph.
Things have definitely changed from the first few minutes of the game when Randolph was dominating. East Brunswick's found their momentum now, I think.
Ball bouncing on this near side. An excellent header going over the top of the East Brunswick player. That time for Randolph was Anna Shimonez. We hadn't called that name as she recently checked into the game for Randolph. It'll be an East Brunswick throw-in on the near side. The ball is put into play. Bounced around a couple of times. Bounced out of bounds, and it'll be a Randolph throw-in this time on the near side. Over to take the throw-in for Randolph, we see Heather Steinman. A quick correction earlier, we called the name, the actual name was Jennifer Weideberg, who came up with the header just a moment ago, so just want to correct that. We have an infraction on the near side, so it'll be a direct kick restart from the near side, about 30 yards out, about 5 yards off of the touchline. Randolph set to take it. Over to take the kickoff, the restart for Randolph, Heather Steinman. The ball is rolling on the turf as it is windy here at Trenton State College. A nice November afternoon, but a bit windy, which certainly doesn't help on a turf field. Ball finally set. Steinman drops her hand, and she'll chip the ball inside the 18. East Brunswick holding at the 18, looking to get through. Betsy Ostroff comes off the line and snakes in a real good one, taking a bounce off the turf had she let it through. Randolph player trying to pick up the long ball on that far side. Probably could have buried it, so a good save for Betsy Ostroff. The ball bounces up over the head of Kelly. She'll get a header on it. Stays running onto it. She's taken down by a Randolph player, but gets it up toward the middle of the field. Gill will run onto it, as will Bloor, but it's lost now near side. It's poked out by East Brunswick. Last touched by Stacy Morgan. It'll be a Randolph throw-in at midfield for Randolph. Heather Steinman. Steinman sends it down the touchline, off the head of Gubitosa. One more time, Steinman will send it upfield. East Brunswick looking to clear it out. Lizer controlling the middle of the field. She'll take a header now. It's headed right back by Randolph. We have a push called against East Brunswick. No one really caught that one. Most likely be Bon Giovanni, as she was closest to the Randolph player. So it'll be a Randolph restart, direct kick about 35 yards out, dead center. Right-footed shot from 35 yards out, right into the waiting hands of Betsy Ostroff. So Ostroff has seen a number of shots today, something that we didn't mention in this semifinal game, where East Brunswick won 2-1 over Shawnee. Shawnee only registered 7 shots in the entire ball game. So far, Betsy Ostroff has seen more than that in the first 25 minutes of this game. As there's 14 minutes, 47 seconds remaining until halftime. East Brunswick and Randolph still tied at 0. Bloor controls near side, having some problems getting the ball down as she looks up to find Rabi just over midfield. Rabi fended real tight. She turns on our player, tries to get it out to Gill. Gill looking for a header, mistimes it, beats her player anyway. Waiting for it one more time, Gubitosa. She'll send it out on the near side touchline. It'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Substitution for East Brunswick, checking back into the ball game. Be Jamie Lizer. Tiffany Bloor will take a seat on the bench. Lizer to take the throw-in, sends it middle of the field, looking for Bon Giovanni. Bon Giovanni slipped or push. We'll see what the referee's going to award. The referee's going to give it a push. Could have very well been a slip, but East Brunswick will get the direct kick about 25 yards out on the near side. Bon Giovanni to take it. She's looking for Rabi inside the box. Rabi, good turn on her player. It'll bounce up over the head of Kelly and run far side. Kelly will chase it into the corner. She'll try to turn and get across off. Her angle was cut down. She couldn't turn, and it rolls. It's sent out of bounds over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Koss and the Randolph Rams. Interesting that she brings it over to this corner, as it did go out on that far side. Koss sends the ball in. The referees don't seem to catch what we do. The ball is sent in and lost by Gubitosa. That ball bounced up and hit the hand of a Randolph player. No call that time. Gill will come up with it. She'll drop back, support pass for Lizer, far side. Lizer will send the chip inside the 18, looking maybe for Kelly. Kelly can't get to it. Running onto it that time for Randolph with Susie Hutchins, and it's out of bounds on the far side. Kelly will take the throw-in. She looks for the head of Rabi. She can't get to it as it's headed out one more time by Randolph. Long ball for Randolph. East Brunswick needing to settle this one down. Come near side, Randolph. Gubitosa runs onto it one more time. East Brunswick will reload, try to run it on this near side touchline. Big collision in midfield. The referee will signal play on as both players get up. East Brunswick getting the better half of that one. Involved in the collision that time for East Brunswick was Stacy Morgan. Randolph will run it.
There's a good no call by the official there. 50-50 ball, both players playing hard.
East Brunswick getting the better half of that one. The referee not taking away any advantages. Play continues. Kelly heads the ball up to Rabi. Rabi one touch near side for Bon Giovanni. Bon Giovanni now heads it off of the Randolph player. Rabi will take a crack at it from about 25 yards out. It bounces. No one will challenge the keeper on that one. Second loft that's floated in. No one challenging Koss in the backfield, so we're not quite sure how she'll react to a challenge, but she'll punt the ball out. It'll bounce once and up over midfield, just over the head of Lizer, and one more time Friedman will take it from the backfield. Friedman a little unsuccessful on that turn, something we don't see too often. She's pretty precise from the backfield, but she was unsuccessful on that turn and unsuccessful on her fending effort on the far side. She was beat, and she was as well called for the trip. So it'll be I believe it's going to be a restart. It could be a throw-in. We'll wait and see what the referee calls. It will be a direct kick, a restart, a trip going against Freeman. Right on the touchline, far side, about 30 yards out. The ball is right-footed cross into the middle, quickly headed out by East Brunswick. Waiting for it one more time, Kelly Gubitosa. Gubitosa losing control of it to the East Brunswick player. The Randolph player comes up from the back, but finally it's cleared out by East Brunswick. No one at the midfield for East Brunswick to control it as East Brunswick brought back their midfielders to defend. One bounce for Friedman. Ostroff calls off Friedman. and she's challenged that time. A little bit of a late reaction by the Randolph player coming through, but you know, that's important early on in this game. It's already in the middle of the game, I should say, that neither keeper has been challenged by a player yet. Finally, you see Ostroff challenged that time, and you know that that'll be in the back of her mind as this game continues.
Yeah, that's correct. Referee just missed a foul in the Randolph defense.
A trip up over midfield, no call that time. It'll be a throw-in on the far side for Randolph. Over to take the throw-in for Randolph will be Dana Gubatosa. All sent in and out. Kelly will take the throw-in now. We'll have a substitution. Bloor, who took a quick seat on the bench. A couple of words with Coach Lucosa, and she's right back out there on the field, coming off Erin Kelly to take her first seat on the bench this afternoon. 10 minutes, 27 seconds remaining. East Brunswick and Randolph still tied at 0. It's the Group 4 state championships from Trenton State College. Throw-in far side. Bouncing and off of the head of Bon Giovanni, but no one there again to run onto it. It's cleared out and sent out of bounds. On the far side, we'll have another throw-in for East Brunswick.
This game is certainly a game that's being played in the midfield. Not too many chances in the attacking thirds for either team.
Could be the kind of game where one mistake or one good through ball will make or break the state champion.
Excellent point, Scott.
Gill tries to control. She loses it, and it's cleared out now. Sent right back in for East Brunswick. Lizer on the near side. Excuse me, actually, that's Stacy Morgan on the near side. And we're going to have an infraction at midfield, just over midfield. It's going to be called against Randolph, so we'll have an East Brunswick restart. East Brunswick puts the ball into play. Amy Bizup. Sent short of the 18. No one there to run onto it. East Brunswick's offense very lethargic and reacting this afternoon. A number of opportunities they're not running onto now. We see Rabi a little slow reacting to that one. A through ball, good opportunity for East Brunswick for Bloor, but she couldn't finish it off. It's cleared out, and now running it on the far side, we have Gubatosa, Dana Gubatosa that is. She'll run it toward the far side touchline. Pokes it off the East Brunswick player. Actually, seemed to go off the East Brunswick player, but the referee saw it go off of Gubatosa, so it's a throw-in for East Brunswick. In and out one more time off of Randolph, so another East Brunswick throw-in. Referee's going to stop the play as one ball is on the field and one ball is in the hands of the East Brunswick player on the far side, getting ready to throw the ball in. Ball's put into play. Rabi loses her footing for a minute as she can't control it. It's sent up the touchline. Randolph on the attack. One player to beat. Good opportunity for Randolph. We'll see. Could be a one-on-one situation, and no, a little bit slow reacting. East Brunswick gets their defense back, but it was a through ball for Randolph, beating Friedman on the far side there, and a good opportunity, but they couldn't finish it off. Randolph still controlling far side touchline, out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Randolph. Last off East Brunswick.
Here we go, girls!
Randolph throwing, same place. East Brunswick will try to clear it out again, middle third of the field, see who comes onto it faster. One more time. That ball is won by Randolph's Heather Steinman. Ball sent inside the 18. We're going to get an infraction, a push against Randolph. So it'll be an East Brunswick restart. And we've seen a couple pushes in the last couple of minutes, Charlie. At this point in the game, is there a frustration factor setting in?
Definitely. Like we previously mentioned, the game's being played in the midfield. Neither team getting any chances, quality chances to score a goal. So especially attacking players getting very frustrated at this point.
Ball sent in on that far side. A rather slow-moving game. Very few scoring opportunities, as you've mentioned. Good opportunity now for Randolph. Lofting ball into the middle. Ostroff, good off her line. She's very good on those crosses. Pulls that one down. We're saying a rather slow game, as there haven't been that many scoring opportunities. The ball is sent out to the near side. Kelly Gubatosa on the header. She'll send it right back in, but it's cleared out. Near side now, Gill tries to keep it in. She's unsuccessful. Goes over the touchline. It'll be a throw-in. Steinman to take it, but not before we see some Randolph substitutions. Checking in for Randolph now. We see Amanda Toskovich. She was in and out earlier, but she's back out on the park. The ball's headed off of Gubatosa, looking for Toskovich. Can't control it. Headed out by East Brunswick now. Good opportunity for Randolph. An opportunity from about 25 yards out. No one there to finish it. East Brunswick will run it across the field. A couple of East Brunswick players will check back to help out. A errant shot from about 25 yards out. Went 5 yards wide of the far goalpost and out of bounds. It'll be another goal kick for East Brunswick. Ball set down on the 6. 6 minutes, 26 seconds remaining. Still no score. Sent right to the head one more time, Kelly Gubitosa. She seems to be in on everyone. Hartaj Gill will check back to try to keep it in. This time she's successful. Last time unsuccessful, but she did send it right to the foot of Heather Steinman. Steinman will send it near side for, looking for Gubitosa. Goes just over her head. Last touch by an East Brunswick player. Gubitosa will take the throw in. One bounce towards Toskovich. Toskovich can't maintain control now. A crack from 20 yards out. Good opportunity just over the crossbar. And something like that is a goalie's worst nightmare. It floated up and any sort of misjudge, and you could find that one in the back of the net.
Especially on a windy day, you never know how it's going to land.
Did go up and out of bounds over that far side. Thought it was a shot out of bounds, but I guess it must have touched an East Brunswick player last, as the referee is awarding a corner kick over to take it for Randolph. We'll see Gubitosa one more time. Gubitosa will launch the ball in. Good cross about 6 yards out, and Bloor will run right onto it. She'll send it toward that far side touchline. No East Brunswick player there as the East Brunswick midfield came back to defend. So now Ramby will come back from her striker position. Bloor will take a swing at it, miss that one on the far side. Herman will chase it over to the corner, and she'll poke it out of bounds. It'll be another throw in for Randolph.
Yeah, that time we had too many East Brunswick defenders just guarding space instead of players. And on the clear, right to Randolph.
Randolph will send the ball in one more time. Betsy Ostroff comes up with it. Ostroff will punt it out toward this near side, maybe looking for Gill. Gill a little slow to react, and the ball was knocked out of bounds by Randolph. That time, last touch, Heather Steinman throwing near side for East Brunswick. Ball skips across the turf. A couple of players try to run onto it. Finally, control of it. Gill lays it off on this near side, looking at through ball. That time, trying to send the through ball for East Brunswick was Jamie Lizer. Good opportunity now. Rabby gets it around. She's going to send maybe Gill in the middle. A little bit long for Gill. Running onto it a little bit late. Bloor got a left-footed shot off. About 20 yards out, just outside the 18. Probably the best scoring opportunity we've seen for East Brunswick so far with 20 yards out. Of course, it was to her left foot, and I will probably assume that she's a right-footed kicker, though I'm not exactly sure of that. So left-footed shot for Bloor right into the hands of a waiting Koss. Punted out, and one more time, East Brunswick will have to clear it out of their backfield. Friedman will take it off the bounce, sends it near side. One touch on this near side by East Brunswick. Lizer sends it toward the middle of the field. Douglas tries to control. She'll send it far side. Running onto it a little late was Rabby. Now control of the middle of the field. Bongiovanni. She'll send it far side for Bloor. It'll bounce over toward the touchline. Bloor will run onto it, wait and try to see how her player reacts. Good move as she allowed her player to run the ball right out of bounds. Now Bloor will take the throw in on the far side. We're down to 3 minutes, 37 seconds. Bloor throws the ball in, finds Rabby. Rabby in some traffic. She'll poke it through two players, see if she can get a cross off. One more time, she crossed it right into the Randolph player. Randolph player smart enough to turn on it and poke it out of bounds on the far side touchline. It'll be a throw in just off the corner. Bloor over to take it again for East Brunswick. So we're in the final moments of this half. A good opportunity for either team to score. One of the worst times, really, if you're defending, to get scored upon is in the final minutes of a half, and this would be a great opportunity as East Brunswick will take it from about 18 yards out. No one there to get a crack on it. Ball bounces out, and now East Brunswick will be on the defensive one more time. Friedman will clear it from up over the midfield line. She'll wait for it. She's going to switch fields and bring it over toward this near side flank for Gill. Gill with some running room on the near side. She'll try to get around her player. Cuts back on her. She's going to send a near side touchline. Good delayed move. Finds Bongiovanni. Bongiovanni wrapped up and can't get to it. It's cleared out by Randolph, but Gill waits for one more time. Bit of a slick move with the heel tap back. Bounces it off of the Randolph player. Last touched by Susie Hutchins. We're going to have a throw in on the near side, but not before we have a substitution. Erin Kelly took a seat on the bench about 5 minutes ago. She'll check right back in for Bloor. Bloor's been in and out this first half. She'll take another seat on the bench. It'll be a throw in on the near side for East Brunswick, taking the throw in Lizer again. Getting the ball in. Randolph breaking it up, and they'll run on this near side. Looking through ball, it's broken up on the near side. Friedman over to play it now. Chasing it into the corner, or chasing it to the touchline for East Brunswick was Morgan, but did roll out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. We're under 2 minutes, no score.
And right now it appears that Randolph's working much harder off the ball than East Brunswick. If East Brunswick's going to mount any kinds of attacks, they're going to have to work a little bit harder off the ball.
Ball sent out near side, finding the head of Susie Hutchins. East Brunswick will run down near side touchline, just barely keeping it in. Great move by Jamie Lizer to keep that ball in. Now it's out of bounds off of Gill, so it'll be a throw in on the near side to take that throw in for Randolph. Steinman sends it down the touchline. Good scoring opportunity. Toskovich will send it to the middle. One more time, Betsy Ostroff. Ostroff has been perfect on the afternoon. She's been battle tested, and she's come up for East Brunswick so far, not allowing any through. Also, strong efforts on the defense. We get a jumping in call against East Brunswick.
Ostroff's looking very, very sharp today. Always being in the right place.
Remember, this is the last game for a number of seniors out on the park today. 5 seniors started for East Brunswick, 4 started for Randolph. And by saying that it is the last game for only 9 players that started today, you're really saying a lot for both these programs. Very young programs, and that they are every year, annually, they're building programs, and you'll expect to see them back next year and the year after that. A lot of young players out there today.
Yes, it seems all throughout the state this year. The superstars are the younger ones out there.
Certainly, we could say that of the Gubitosa sisters so far today, it's been the younger one, and Kelly Gubitosa dominating the middle third of the field for Randolph. East Brunswick with an opportunity near side. Raby running onto it. It's going to probably be poked out by Randolph. They're not going to take any chances in letting Raby through. Definitely a dangerous goal scorer as we're down to 16 seconds. Raby knows that she'll quickly throw that ball in, trying to find the head of any East Brunswick player. It's sent out by Randolph, and that'll probably wrap it up. Maybe one last effort. We're down to 6 seconds. Gill will try to flick it up over her head. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that'll wrap up this first half from Trenton State College. It's the Group 4 state championships. Girls high school soccer, East Brunswick and Randolph still tied at 0. And Charlie, if you're Coach Lucosa heading into the locker room, what do you tell the Lady Bears?
Definitely right now, what I'm seeing is East Brunswick is playing well on defense. They're clearing the ball. Okay, but what they got to start doing is they got to start clearing the ball to a space and not right to the Randolph defense. Gill is getting beat a lot by letting her defender step in front of her. That's got to stop. East Brunswick's going to start the attack from the back. Also, I'd maybe look to talk to Jeannie Raby to work a little bit harder off the ball. If she can make some more runs, open up some space for the people with the ball, maybe she can get the ball more at her feet. Right now, she's really not putting herself in a position for the midfielders to get her the ball. Okay, and what does Coach Ann Clifton tell her troops? Right now, watching Randolph play, they're getting a lot of chances. I think what they got to do is they got to attack down the right side of the field. The right side of the field and more in the middle. You got to stay off the left side of the field because East Brunswick's very, very strong in the back there with Kerry Herman. It is a lot of speed on that side, so they want to attack more down the middle, more down the right side.
All right, so there you have it. We're tied at 0, East Brunswick and Randolph. We'll have the second half kickoff in just a moment. A 6th state championship on the line for East Brunswick as they get set to take the field at second half action here at Trenton State College. They're playing against Randolph. For those of you who may have just joined us, we have no score and really no team really dominating the first half. I'm Scott White alongside Charlie Nemo, and for those of you who were with us, note that the teams have switched halves. East Brunswick, still in their green uniforms, will now be moving from left to right, and Randolph will be moving from right to left. They're wearing their white jerseys. 40 minutes on the clock. East Brunswick takes the kickoff. We're underway. East Brunswick comes near side looking for Raby. It's broken up, but she'll control it. Raby sending the ball right back toward the middle. Ball's broken up in the middle there. We'll see who comes onto it. East Brunswick getting the ball fired off toward this near side, broken up by Randolph, controlling it. Susie Hutchins. Hutchins sends it down the line. East Brunswick stepping up. Kerry Herman will send it upfield. Ball will bounce maybe toward Gill. Gill can't control it. It'll be sent down the far side touchline. Randolph, with their first run of the second half, goes far side around an East Brunswick player, Stacy Morgan, looking to launch a cross off, and Morgan will chase her out of bounds over that far side touchline. We'll have a throw-in for Randolph. They're quick off the kickoff, and they have the ball right down into the offensive third of the field. Ball's cleared out and off the head of Gill, sent to the middle of the field. Maintained control for Randolph. That time in the middle of the field, Dana Gubitosa, coming out of the backfield for Randolph, launched into the box and into the hands of the East Brunswick goalkeeper, a name we haven't called too often, coming from the back, Lindsay Steiger. On this near side, she sent the ball upfield, and now it'll bounce around a couple times. Randolph much quicker to the ball in this second half. The Randolph coach, Ann Clifton, must have had a conversation with her troops, as they seem to have come out of this this halftime much quicker and much more dangerous. They've been winning a lot of the ball so far this half.
Yes, if you remember back to the first half, they started off very strong as well.
See if any of that changes. We're just about a minute and a half into the game. 38 minutes, 23 seconds remaining in this ball game as the score is still tied at 0. It is early on, but we should mention if this score remains tied, the policy here is that teams will play 2 10-minute overtime periods in their entirety. There's no sudden death. 2 10-minute periods in their entirety, and if at that point in time the game were to remain tied, they will be co-champions, something that East Brunswick has faced in the past. They were named co-champions a number of years ago. I believe it was against Westfield, so it's not uncommon, and in the game before this we saw co-champions. Right now we're tied at 0, 37 minutes remaining in regulation time. East Brunswick trying to run onto a near side. Raby will chase it out of bounds. Last headed out of bounds, probably by Raby, so it'll be a throw-in in the back. No, the referee's going to signal that was last headed out of bounds by Randolph's Lindsey Steiger, so it'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Kelly will take the throw-in on the near side. Off the head of Raby, one bounce. Bongiovanni slips, leaning the wrong way. It's cleared out. A couple of bounces in the middle of the field. Now coming onto it for East Brunswick. A header by Amy Bizup. Up over midfield, waiting for it to bounce. Friedman from the back. She'll wind up and take a crack from 50 yards out. It's a dangerous situation. East Brunswick tends to bring their defense up a lot, and Friedman's the last line of defense at the 50-yard line. A long ball or an errant kick, and East Brunswick could be looking at defending against a one-on-one situation.
Excellent control here by the Randolph team right now, knocking the ball around, keeping possession.
Randolph was able to string together about 5 passes before it was broken up by Aaron Kelly. Kelly will send Bongiovanni middle of the field. Bongiovanni's going to complete the switch across the field, and now we see some good ball movement by East Brunswick. Brought up that far side touch line by Lizer. Lizer sends it upfield for Gill. Gill back to Lizer on the support pass. Lizer will have to run onto it and center it up now, looking for a couple of East Brunswick players. Finds the head of Raby in the middle. Anyone to run onto it. Coming out of the backfield for Randolph, cleared out by Lindsey Steiger. East Brunswick will reload and send another shot in. Bit of a strange shot coming across the ball, leaning in the wrong direction that time for East Brunswick was Nicole Douglas. She was coming across toward the near side and trying to switch fields back toward the far side. Couldn't get around on it and sent it out of bounds over the end line. It's a goal kick for Randolph. We also have a substitution for Randolph checking into the ball game. A face and a name we did not see at all in the first half. Another freshman, Melissa Cohen, will check in the backfield. Actually, I should say up front. So Melissa Cohen, a second freshman for Randolph out on the park, will check into the ball game. East Brunswick on the attack, near side. Aaron Kelly takes a crack from about 20 yards out, right into the hands of Koss, but she had some problems controlling that, bobbled it a little bit. Good follow through by a couple of East Brunswick players, and an excellent shot on the near side by Aaron Kelly.
And much more attractive soccer here in the second half. Both teams possessing the ball a little more, which in turn is creating more opportunities.
Less kick and run soccer.
Very much so.
Gubitosa knocks it out of bounds on the far side, and East Brunswick throwing. Ball bounce off of the chest of Bongiovanni and headed up toward Gubitosa, Dana Gubitosa that is. She'll send the ball, continue the flow of action toward Kristen Mooney. Mooney will send it over toward that far side, the freshman that just checked into the ball game for Randolph. Melissa Cullen will take her first crack at it, center it up right into the hands of Ostroff. Ostroff will send it up over midfield. It'll bounce over the head of Raby and to the feet of a Randolph player. Randolph controls middle of the field. Raby steps up and tries to send a through ball, see if Bongiovanni can poke it through. Bongiovanni, with only one player to beat, couldn't get control of it. It is cleared out by Randolph. Coming up from the back for East Brunswick, trying to slide through, and that was Amy Bizup. She mistimed it and slipped on the turf. Now Friedman will clear it out of the backfield right to a Randolph player waiting for it at the midfield line for Randolph. That was Kelly Gubitosa. And Randolph will run it back toward the far side touchline. Randolph on the counterattack again. Can't control it out of bounds over the far side touchline at midfield. We'll see another East Brunswick substitution. Bloor in one more time. She saw some time early in this game. She came in and out twice during the first half. Now she's in the first substitution of the second half for Coach Lou Cosa and the East Brunswick Lady Bears. Coming over to take a seat on the bench for East Brunswick will be Nicole Douglas. So Douglas out, Bloor is in, 34 minutes remaining. East Brunswick and Randolph still tied at 0, the Group 4 state championships.
Yeah, both teams have definitely stepped up a notch here. Season's on the line right here. Both teams are showing that now.
And for some players, we mentioned earlier, a career, actually for players on both sides of the ball, a career-ending ball game. Seniors, some of them move on to collegiate ball, and some of them will wrap up their careers today. So a number of seniors are seeing action and hoping to go away with a win. On this stoppage of play, I guess that kind of leads to an interesting question. You've played collegiate soccer, now playing at the semi-professional level. How does it play into the psyche of a player and of a team knowing that this is your last game, whether it be last game in high school or last game ever?
Well, definitely is going to bring up the intensity of the game, because you know it's your last game, and you're only as good as your last game. And these players that are playing their last game today got to realize that and want to remember their high school career with a great performance in their last outing.
Well, a couple of players, a couple of seniors, and don't want to mention them because I know I'm going to miss a few, but I believe there were 5 that started for East Brunswick and 4 that started for Randolph. As we go out, we will mention a couple of the seniors as this game progresses. Ball is put into play by East Brunswick. Rabbie up front. Rabbie, a senior for this East Brunswick club. Can't control it. It's sent out now toward the near side. East Brunswick will try to send the ball in one more time. A very high pop, and there's one of those balls that could be mistimed and misjudged by a goalie. That ball was sent up by Kerry Herman from the near side. Kerry Herman with a great crack from the backfield. Kerry Herman also a senior, so she's playing in what could be her last game. Good scoring opportunity for East Brunswick. It'll now be a goal kick for Koss from the back. Koss will send it down the far side touchline, bounce off of Gill over there. Bongiovanni tries to control it. She can't do so. A couple of East Brunswick players now will try to control the ball on the far side. On the counterattack now for Randolph. Quickly broken up by East Brunswick. That time broken up by East Brunswick's Jamie Lizer. She'll send it down the far side touchline, looking for Gill on that far side. Quickly cleared out by Randolph. Randolph will send it up to Gubitosa, that being Dana Gubitosa. She's going to look overlap far side. She'll run it right to the touchline, and the linesman's going to signal that it did roll over the touchline. Randolph not satisfied with that call. It'll be an East Brunswick throw-in at the midfield line, far side touchline. The ball's put into play. 31 minutes, 44 seconds remaining. The ball comes across the field, looking for Erin Kelly. She can't get to it. It's poked inside the 18 by a Randolph player, and it is picked up by Koss, so Koss will punt the ball out this time. Punts it up dead center, waiting for the bounce now. Kelly will run onto it. She's playing a tight mark against Susie Hutchins. Cleared out. Lizer will send it back up one more time. A high kick off the head of Bloor. Far side now. Gill, she's going to send overlap, a through ball for Bloor. Bloor's going to try to turn and get a cross off. She cuts back on her player. She's going to have to go left-footed now. Actually, right-footed. She does get the cross off, and Kelly gets a shot off. It does go wide, but a decent effort on behalf of a couple of players. First, Gill, who cut back on her player and was able to get the cross off. Kelly running onto it, getting a shot off, and an offensive attack, a minimum at that, but an offensive attack mounted by East Brunswick. Goal kick far side. Header by Randolph. East Brunswick coming out of the back that time for East Brunswick. Whistled with the push with Stacy Morgan. She came from her fullback position to try to break it up. She's whistled with the push. We'll have a direct kick on the infraction far side. To take that kick for Randolph, Heather Steinman. She'll send it down the touchline, a couple of bounces. East Brunswick will try to clear it out. Off the bounce, coming through now, we have Gubitosa. Gubitosa, good opportunity. She'll break it through the 18 and try to cross it into the center. Great opportunity for Gubitosa. Let the ball get a little too far ahead of her and couldn't turn on that end line. The ball did roll out of bounds. We'll have a goal kick for East Brunswick, and certainly a frightening situation for the goalkeeper and the defense of East Brunswick. Goal kick for East Brunswick. The ball is sent toward the middle of the field, about 30 yards. One bounce over the head of Gill. Gubitosa, Kelly will run onto it far side. Cuts back on her player. Now she's going to bring it toward the middle. Right-footed cross into the middle. Good opportunity. Ostroff comes off her line. Dangerous situation as the freshman Melissa Cohen was looking at an empty net. Had Ostroff mistimed it, she would have had a great opportunity. Now East Brunswick with a great opportunity. Kelly will bring it down this near side touchline, sends it straight into the waiting feet of Lindsay Steiger. Steiger will restart and send it out near side for Gubitosa. Gubitosa centers it up for Cohen. Cohen loses control of it. It's broken up. One more time, Randolph will send it. Amanda Artizone will send it up the middle. Artizone funding a couple of Randolph players. One bounce now for East Brunswick. East Brunswick's Lizer will try to clear it out. Lizer will drop it back. She'll lose control of it. And Cohen, the freshman who just recently checked in, is paying off dividends. She's on the attack one more time. All she has to do is beat Friedman. Friedman's not going to let her around. A great defensive effort by Friedman as that sweeper. She really is one of the anchors in the defense for East Brunswick.
Yeah, great speed and pretty sure feet back there. Always tends to clear the ball to where it should go.
Was a throw-in for Randolph. They'll have a second throw-in one more time. Kelly Gubitosa on the far side to take the throw-in. She puts the ball in play, a double team on that far side. Ball is last touched by Randolph. We'll have another goal kick and a little bit more action in the second half, but still no goals and no major efforts. The referee's going to stop the clock as a Randolph player was hopping around a little bit. Now the referee is going to require her to check out of the ball game. Anytime that the clock is stopped for an injury, that player needs to check out. And even though we can't catch a number when she comes out, we will. Even though it appears as if she can play, that could be Kelly Gubitosa as she comes off.
Younger Gubitosa there.
So Kelly Gubitosa will take a seat on the bench. The referee is going to come over and talk to the coach because the coach is signaling that the clock continued to run down after the referee raised his hands to stop the clock on the injury substitution. Now the referee will come over to talk to the clock judge, referee that works the clock, and try to get some seconds added back on. There'll also be some substitutions on this stoppage of play. As we mentioned, Gubitosa has to check out at least for one play. Checking in for Gubitosa will be Heather Schaefer, a name we also haven't called at all this afternoon. She's new into the ball game. Nicole Douglas will see action one more time for East Brunswick. It's Hartage Gill. We'll take a seat on the bench. So a couple substitutions, a couple of seconds clicking off the clock that I assume were added back on. 28 minutes appear on the game clock. That's 28 minutes in regulation with two 10-minute overtime periods awaiting if it remains tied. 0-0 is your score. It's East Brunswick against Randolph in the Group 4 state championships. East Brunswick controls middle of the field. Bloor losing control of it that time. Ball bounces around now. East Brunswick tries to control one more time. Far side cleared out by East Brunswick Stacy Morgan. Morgan sends it up the field. East Brunswick with a good scoring opportunity, trying to send Ramby through. Ramby with looking goal side that time, but the ball didn't go through on her. It'll roll out of bounds on the near side touchline. Thrown for East Brunswick. Erin Kelly over to take it, and the East Brunswick fans trying to cheer their troops on, seeing if they can get them motivated. Kelly will take the throw and sends it right to a waiting Randolph player. Stepping up from the backfield now to send it in one more time. For East Brunswick was Kerry Herman. The ball bounced around just outside the 18. East Brunswick trying to get a shot off. Raby will try to send a through ball. Great through ball. Slow anticipation that time by Bloor, so scooped up by Koss unchallenged.
Great vision there by Jeannie Raby to send that ball through.
Koss will punt it out one more time, far side. It'll bounce twice. It'll bounce once and find the head of an East Brunswick player. That time headed by East Brunswick's Nicole Douglas. The ball sent out of bounds on the far side touchline. Last touched by East Brunswick. We'll have another substitution. Actually, it's a substitution of Kelly Gubitosa checking back into the game. She was momentarily injured, forced to check out of the game by the referee. Now she'll check back in. And the Randolph player who checked in for her, Heather Schaefer, seeing about 30 seconds of play. The first and only 30 seconds that she's seen this afternoon will come back over to the bench. East Brunswick trying to control it. Kelly Gubitosa, who just checked in, will send it down the touchline, try to run somebody on into the corner. Friedman a little waiting to react to the player. She's signaling that it's out of bounds. It is out of bounds. She'll take the quick throw in off the leg of Gubitosa. Out of bounds, another throw in for East Brunswick down the touchline, looking to get it over the head of a couple of Randolph players. Referee stopping play for another throw in on the far side. This time finding the head of Bon Giovanni. Good head flick. She tries to get an East Brunswick player to run onto it. Tiffany Bloor a little unable to run onto that ball. Now the ball is sent up over midfield. Neither team dominating in the last few minutes. One more time. Gubitosa will launch the ball straight up the middle, untouched, rolls into the waiting hands of Ostrov. She'll get ready to punt it out. As we mentioned, seniors, Betsy Ostrov is playing in our final game as an East Brunswick goalkeeper, the senior. Punts the ball up to Jeannie Raby. Raby takes two headers and tries to find a couple of East Brunswick players running through, maybe Bloor or Bon Giovanni. Neither one able to get it. Now coming out of the backfield for East Brunswick, trying to reload and set up was Amy Bizup. She loses control, running at Dana Gubitosa. A little mix up on names, giving a name from each team, but Gubitosa tries to cross it, and the referee is going to signal an infraction against Randolph. I get a push against Dana Gubitosa. It'll be a restart. Direct kick from the back for East Brunswick. Friedman will send it down the touchline. One bounce into the let's see, I guess that went out of bounds. The referee, it did go out of bounds. I was waiting to see if there was any sort of push call there, but it was out of bounds. The throw in quickly by Randolph. It'll be another throw in by Randolph as that one was poked out of bounds one more time by East Brunswick. Randolph will throw it down the touchline, headed by one Randolph player to a second one, now cleared out by East Brunswick over the touchline. Another throw in, and neither team really establishing themselves. It's gut check time, 24 minutes remaining in this ball game, and the state championship on the line. Randolph will take the throw in from that far side. East Brunswick really trying to clear it out as Randolph is threatening and chipping away. Gubatosa runs onto it, but finally it is cleared out by Bongiovanni again over the far side touchline, and we have another throw-in from about the same place by the same team. Randolph will take a throw-in on the far side touchline. Header by a Randolph player, tried to clear out by East Brunswick, and maybe we'll get our first clear out, but coming out of the backfield quickly for Randolph, that was Lindsay Steiger. She'll send the ball through to another Randolph player who loads and takes a shot. It goes wide of the goalpost, but it is a shot, and we will see some more East Brunswick substitutions. Coach Luke Kosa and assistant coach Brian Merrigan trying to shake things up and see if East Brunswick could poke one through. One is probably all it's going to take in this ball game, a tight ball game, and Tiffany Bloor will take a seat on the bench. One more time, Gill back in her striker position. Friedman takes the goal kick near side off the head of Kelly, to the waiting chest of East Brunswick player, that being Bongiovanni. She runs the ball out of bounds, and it's last touched by Bongiovanni, so it'll be a throw-in on the near side. The referee signaling no, that it was in fact last off of Gubatosa, which was the perspective that we had, but was awarded an East Brunswick throw, and Kelly takes the first one, and now she's set to take a second one as it was poked out of bounds again by Susie Hutchins for Randolph. She'll send the ball through, looking for Bongiovanni running onto it. Bongiovanni a little slow to get there now. A couple of East Brunswick players will swarm around, trying to switch fields of coverage over toward this near side to get Rabbie to run onto it a little bit wide and a little bit long over the touch line. It'll be a goal kick for Randolph.
I think both teams got to go back to what they were doing at the beginning of the half. Look to string some short passes together before they go long. Establish some possession, then try to go for the goal there.
Goal kick's taken near side off of the head of Kelly. Bongiovanni lets it bounce around. Now she's going to take a left-footed chip in toward the middle. Ball's cleared out by a Randolph player, actually cleared in toward the box and toward the touchline. Rabbie's going to try to turn on her player. She does turn on her player, but the ball was sent out of bounds. Last touch by Rabbie. It'll be a goal kick one more time for Randolph. 22 minutes remaining in this state championship game. East Brunswick and Randolph still tied 0-0. Very small crowd. We'd mentioned at the beginning of the game for both East Brunswick and Randolph, and I had assumed that as the game progressed, the stands would fill in, and they really didn't. It's a rather small crowd. One thing that could be competing with this is this game is taking place at the same time of an East Brunswick-Piscataway football game. Very important semifinal game. So I'm sure a lot of fans are there, but they're missing a good one here as East Brunswick and Randolph are still tied 0-0. East Brunswick trying to mount an offensive attack, cleared out one more time by Randolph. Bounce around a couple of times inside the box. Now Randolph will take the header. That time for Randolph was Susie Hutchins. Ball is sent into Koss. Koss will take the bounce and wait for the box to clear out again. Ball will bounce short of midfield, now up over midfield off the head of a Randolph player. East Brunswick will send it back over midfield. A couple of headers over there, a bit of pinball soccer. East Brunswick will chase it over toward the touchline. Stacy Morgan, and it'll be sent out of bounds by Morgan. It'll be a throw-in for Gubatosa on the far side. Dana Gubatosa takes the throw and bounces it off an East Brunswick player. Last touch by Randolph, so it'll be East Brunswick's throw on far side. Up over the head of Gill, waiting for it. Randolph. Gubatosa in control. She'll send it toward the middle of the field. East Brunswick winning the header. A very slow-moving game right now as neither team punching anything through, and the crowd, the fans, and the broadcasters are being lulled to sleep by this soccer game so far.
And once again, the game shifts back into the midfield. Neither team getting any good scoring chances for the last 10 minutes or so.
As we had said a few moments ago, and it really should be mentioned again, one good ball, one mistake could be the difference in this game and the difference in a state tournament championship. It'll be a restart off of the push, midfield on the far side for East Brunswick. The ball is sent short of the 18. East Brunswick not reacting, coming out of the backfield. Randolph, now East Brunswick will try to run it on the near side. Herman will send the ball in straight into a Randolph player's head, and Randolph will try to run it back the other way. Each team playing a bit of pinball soccer, bouncing the ball back and forth. Neither team stringing together more than 3 passes. One more time, the ball was sent down the near side touchline. Kelly having some problems controlling Lindsay Steiger running through. Steiger gets the better half of it, and it's sent right back in one more time by East Brunswick. Good bounce. See if Raby can run onto it a little bit slow. The ball is a little bit ahead of her as Koss takes it off of the bounce. 19 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. East Brunswick and Randolph still tied 0-0. The ball is punted out. East Brunswick tries to control far side. Bongiovanni in control of it. She's looking to switch field. She'll switch it. Come toward this near side, maybe for Kelly. It is kneed out by a Randolph player. East Brunswick will try to send it in again. East Brunswick has kept the ball in the offensive half of the field for the last few minutes, but now Randolph is going to try a shot at it, but not that long. As
Great
East Brunswick's
recovery.
Amy Bizup comes up and pulls that one away from a Randolph counterattack. It'll be a throw-in on the far side for East Brunswick. Over to take that throw-in for East Brunswick, Stacy Morgan. Morgan will put the ball down the touchline, over the head of a Randolph player. Gill head the ball straight up. Running onto it was Bongiovanni, and she's going to get a dangerous kick called against the Randolph player that picked up a foot in Bongiovanni's face. An indirect kick sent up short of the 18. Now an opportunity for East Brunswick. A shot from about 25 yards out, wide and over the end line. It'll be another goal kick for Randolph, and Randolph is going to make another substitution. Each team trying to find the right combination of players. Checking in Jessica Newpert. She started this ball game for Randolph. She'll see some more action up front as Randolph is trying to punch one through. She checks back out onto the park for the Rams. East Brunswick will try one more time. They get a good roll that time. East Brunswick trying to punch a ball through. Switching fields now for East Brunswick. That was Jamie Lizer who brought the ball completely across the field. A good switch for Lizer. Ball is sent out of bounds on the near side touchline by Randolph. Lizer will take the throw in. Long throw up over the head of Raby. Lizer will try to maintain control and keep the ball in. She does. She's playing great on this near side. Now it's sent out, and East Brunswick will try to send it in one more time. A through ball inside the middle. See if anyone can get a shot off. Bounces around, and no one there to get a shot off. The best opportunity East Brunswick has seen in the last about 10 minutes. No one to take the shot. It's cleared out by Gubitosa far side. Broken up by Stacy Morgan on that far side. The ball sent out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in again for East Brunswick. Far side touchline, about 35 yards off the end line. The offensive half. 17 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in this ball game.
Yeah, the girls appear to be tired at this point. If they're going to stage any kind of attack, they gotta start knocking the ball to feet. Save some energy for the attack.
Herman will break that one up. She'll send it back up over midfield, looking for Raby up front. She's not there. Last ball's bounced up over the head of Lizer. Now cleared upfield by Morgan. East Brunswick not mounting any attack. Broken up by Raby. Raby goes through two players. Good feed through the middle, looking for Kelly. Kelly tries to turn on her player. She can't do so. She's going to lay it off on this near side. Maybe for a midfielder running through. None running through. Now Kelly will react, make a second effort on the near side. Herman, good anticipation, steps up to beat her player. Kelly will come over to assist her, and the ball will be poked out of bounds over the near side touchline. We'll have a throw-in for what should be a Randolph throw-in on the near side. And they're a little slow to react. They weren't sure whose throwing it was. The referee not signaling. It is a Randolph throw-in just up over midfield to take the throw-in for Randolph, Susie Hutchins. Hutchins sends it down the line. Herman waiting for it. She's going to send it through. Long ball sent up by Nicole Douglas. No one up there running onto it again. The ball is miscued by Randolph. Out of bounds over that far side inline. Good scoring opportunity for East Brunswick as we get down to 16 minutes remaining in this ball game. We're going to have a corner kick for East Brunswick.
Yeah, right now, Randolph has everybody back on defense, so East Brunswick should look to push their three backs up into the box here. You never know what can happen.
Ball is crossed out. The keeper comes off her line. Open net. Good opportunity. See if someone can bury it. No one to bury it. Best opportunity they've seen. A follow-through shot high and wide. It's up over the end line, and Charlie, the best opportunity probably East Brunswick's seen all day. Koss came off her line on the cross. Miscalculated, missed the ball, and two East Brunswick players were looking at the back of an empty net.
Like I was saying, Randolph pushed everybody back in the box. That enabled East Brunswick to push their players in the box. When you got 20 players in the 18, you never know what can happen.
Gill comes off for East Brunswick. Bloor will check back into the ball game. Also, Randolph will make another substitution. Amanda Toskovich back on for the Rams. Great scoring opportunity. No one there to bury it, but the most exciting play of the half. East Brunswick now on the move one more time. Erin Kelly will take the throw on the near side touchline, about 20 yards off of the end line. She goes around the photographer, and now she'll put the ball into play. It's off Bongiovanni. The keeper will come out one more time, and she'll miss it one more time. Another open net, and the referee is going to signal Maybe a dangerous play for challenging the keeper.
Dangerous play, but I
Seems like a suspect
definitely
call.
disagree with that. Disagree with that call right there.
Very suspect call. There are some referees that don't like to see their keepers get touched in any way, but to keep this game motivated, to keep this game alive, you really do need to challenge the keeper. You challenge the keeper a couple times. That goalkeeper will think twice before challenging you next time. The referee giving the indirect kick to Randolph. They try to bring it out of the 18, but East Brunswick will keep it in the offensive half. Erin Kelly will chase that ball out of bounds, and now she'll take the throw in on the near side for East Brunswick. She'll look down the touchline. Finds the head of Bongiovanni. The ball is floated around a couple of times. Coming off of the near side touchline for Randolph was Susie Hutchins. She's going to try to clear it out. Randolph really playing with their backs against the wall right now as East Brunswick has certainly kept the ball in the offensive third for the last few minutes. They're going to try to run a counterattack down that far side touchline. East Brunswick's going to try to prevent that.
East Brunswick applying the pressure the last few minutes here. This could be where their experience of being in the state final for so many years could be a benefit to them.
East Brunswick still keeping the ball in the offensive half of the field, although now in the middle third of the field, running over toward this near side, Rabbi. She's going to try to beat her player. She fakes inside and good turn toward this near side. Comes around her player. She tries to cut back but loses control. There's a good example of probably on grass. That's a great move for her, but on turf it just didn't work. Ball rolls out of bounds. Herman waiting for it to roll out. She'll send it quickly in toward Rabbi. Rabbi trying to turn on her player again. This time she gets completely around her. Tries to get a cross off. Goes right toward the keeper. Kept in. No one there to bury it. Good opportunity now from about 12 yards out. Again, no one there to send it in. East Brunswick is definitely knocking on the door of opportunity, but no one there to put it in the back of the net. 12 minutes, 52 seconds remaining. Still tied 0-0. East Brunswick and Randolph at the Group 4 state championships. Randolph will clear it out one more time. East Brunswick will counterattack again.
Jeannie Rabbi stepping up in the last minutes of the game here. Like we talked about before, going out on a high note. She's doing that right now.
Ball sent into the corner for Tiffany Bloor. Bloor will try to keep it in, and she'll run toward the touchline. A little too far ahead of her. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. Out of bounds over that far side touchline. Excuse me, I should say a goal kick for Randolph. It was out of bounds on East Brunswick. Set to take the goal kick. Now Koss will send it out, far side touchline. Finds the head of Gubitosa. East Brunswick will come near side, switching fields. Herman will run onto it, a bit of speed from the backfield, see what she can do with it. Slow to react. She has the speed, but slow to react that time. The ball is poked out of bounds by Randolph. It'll be a throw-in for Herman on the near side.
That's a great look by the midfielder there to play the ball on Herman. She could be so dangerous there. She just wanted to play offense a little bit more.
Randolph bounces the ball around a couple times. Now East Brunswick's going to try again to reload and get something. A shot from about 30 yards out. A shot that kind of caught people off guard. That shot taken by Jamie Leiser. So it'll roll out of bounds over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Randolph. We have 11 minutes remaining in regulation. Still tied at 0. As we mentioned earlier, we'll remind you that if this game remains tied, there'll be 2 10-minute overtime periods. They'll be played in their entirety, regardless of score. At the end of those 2 10-minute periods, if it still is tied at 0 or tied at any score, the score remains tied, and two teams are named Group 4 state champions. Will have co-champions. Heads-up play by Kelly. She puts the ball into play very quickly, catching a number of players off guard as the referee came over to talk to a down, an injured Randolph player. Jessica Newport. So we run down and see Jessica Newport fell on this near side. Kelly put the ball down and put the ball into play before the referee had an opportunity to stop the clock or to stop play. So now finally with 10 minutes, 44 seconds remaining after the ball was sent out of bounds over the far side, the ball is stopped and the clock is stopped. Randolph gets together around the 18-yard line to discuss strategy. East Brunswick comes over to the near side touchline to get some water. Coach Lucosa talking to a couple of his players, Brian Merrigan also in, and giving his players some words of encouragement. I said it about 10 minutes ago, but this really is gut check time. It's the final game for a number of players. I hope that we don't miss anyone, but real quickly we'll run down the seniors playing their final game today. If we miss someone, we apologize, but based on our roster, Stacy Morgan is playing in her senior game. Rhonda Schneider, we've seen her a couple times earlier this year. This is her final game. Kerry Herman, a senior. Jamie Leiser, a senior. Amy Bizup, Barbara Green, a player that we haven't heard much about, but a player that is part of this program. Jeannie Raby, Betsy Ostroff, and Michelle Tobier, the backup goalkeeper. All seniors playing their final game. Not all of them may see time today, but they're still part of the program. They're still part of this East Brunswick team, and we wish them all the best of luck, as this will be their final games in high school, and for many of them, their final games playing soccer. We get set to start the game up again as the injured player that we mentioned a moment ago, that being Jessica Newport, comes over to the bench and takes a seat on the bench. A substitution, Melissa Cohen, the freshman, will check back in for Randolph. The ball is put into play off the goal kick, and now Randolph will run it toward the near side. Cohen quickly will step up to it, see what, she steps right into the game. She knocks Friedman down. She's in 10 seconds already called for a push, knocking Friedman down. Seemed really a continuation of play more than a push, but a push called against Randolph. It'll be an East Brunswick restart, 35, 40 yards out, actually. Set to take the kick. Comes over toward this near side. It'll bounce off the head of a Randolph player. Now East Brunswick will try to run onto it. Bongiovanni will try to turn it down the touchline. It's sent out of bounds by Randolph. Dana Gubatos will send it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Aaron Kelly, again, as all day, will take the throw-in on this near side. Kelly sends it in. Now on the ball is sent out. She'll have to head the ball right back in. Randolph's going to try to run it down the touchline. Just barely kept in by Randolph. Good play, but waiting for it is Herman on the near side. She's going to send the ball straight up, and the ball's poked around a couple times. Last headed out of bounds on this near side by Melissa Cohen. It'll be another throw-in for Kelly. She'll send it down the touchline again, looking for Raby. Raby, quick one touch off the head. Trying to find someone running into the box. No one there. It's sent out of bounds toward this near side. Aaron Kelly one more time on the throw-in quickly again. Same thing we see to Raby. No one again running onto it. It's the same exact play the third time, but didn't work for the third time. 9 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Randolph on the counterattack again. From the backfield, Friedman will clear it up off the head of a Randolph player, that being Lindsay Steiger. The ball bounced around a couple times. East Brunswick Bongiovanni will try to send something through. She does finally get the ball through. A couple of East Brunswick players come onto it. Gill will send it right back to Bongiovanni. She's going to take a crack from about 25 yards out, straight into the waiting hands of Koss. 8 minutes, 56 seconds remaining. Koss will put the ball down to the turf, and she'll punt it out.
Solid hit right there by Bongiovanni. Unfortunately, right at the keeper.
Each team looking to poke one through now, the final minutes of regulation. East Brunswick certainly keeping the ball in the offensive half of the field, so they do have the advantage right now, but one good through ball and a mistake by Schneider in the backfield, and, a mistake by Friedman in the backfield, as Friedman is the sweeper for East Brunswick. A mistake by any of them in the backfield, and it could be a goal and a game-winning goal, a state championship deciding goal. So another substitution by Randolph. Checking back into the game is Jessica Newport, who checked out a few minutes ago with an injury. She's back in. Her substitution, Melissa Cohen, will come out after playing for a few minutes. So the freshman, Melissa Cohen, seeing some time today for Randolph. Be a restart far side for East Brunswick. Cleared up by Randolph, up over the head of Herman. She's got to watch the bounce. She does get ahead, and she's blatantly pushed from behind. A kind of push that often requires a card associated with it. None this time. Kelly will waste no time. She knows they're playing against the clock. She'll quickly send the ball up over the head of, actually off the head of Raby. East Brunswick unable to control Bongiovanni. Will run onto it. She's looking at through ball. No one running through on that one. A little bit wide to the right, into the hands of Koss. Koss will punt it out one more time. Straight up the middle, a short punt. Ball's bounced around, that time headed down by Nicole Douglas. Douglas will try to mount an offensive attack. The ball sent out of bounds near side touchline. Kelly over to take the throw in again. 7 minutes remaining. Kelly sending the ball in, looking for Raby, headed out by Randolph. That time last touched by Amanda Artizone, so it'll be another throw in for Kelly on the near side. East Brunswick working their way down the touchline by throwing the ball in. Send the ball in this time, a new look for Bongiovanni. Lays it off to Raby. Great opportunity. Raby sending it across the goal mouth. Couldn't bury it, but a good opportunity and a good set play into Bongiovanni, and then a shot from Raby. The ball goes across the goal mouth, out of bounds over that far side touchline, and you have to think that East Brunswick, if they're going to score, it's going to be now, because these are the final minutes, and they're really chipping away.
So a shot just missed, maybe no more than a foot
Rabi bent the ball, an outswinger, just missing the far post.
Rabi around the ball one more time in the middle of the field. It's cleared out by Randolph. East Brunswick will try to send it in one more time. Sent in by Bongiovanni. Good bounce, keeper's all the way out. Hoping to take a strange bounce for East Brunswick, but it doesn't. Kelly there to challenge her. She's going to wait for the box to clear out. She's had to pull in that ball an awful lot in the last 5 minutes, and as this game rolls down into the final 6 minutes remaining, she's going to wait for the box to clear. Now she'll send it out. Really a short punt by Coss a number of times. She must be getting tired punting that ball so much now. Gill will try to run it again. Gill's going to cross it centered up for Rabi, over the head of Rabi, but the ball is kept in. Kelly with an opportunity. She mistimes it. Now Herman will come from the backfield. She's going to take a rip from about 30 yards out, wide to the left, over that end line. It'll be a goal kick for Randolph. East Brunswick still keeping the pressure, keeping Randolph pinned to their own defensive half of the field. Again, Coss in no hurry to punt to kick the ball out. East Brunswick seems to have the offensive momentum going, so Randolph, I guess at this point in time, it may be early to concede a tie, but Randolph certainly wouldn't be playing a poor game to try to play this one out and head it into overtime and maybe reload and reassess their strategy.
Excellent point.
Ball's out of bounds over this near side touchline. It'll be a throw-in again for East Brunswick. Kelly over to take it as usual. She's got Rabi, and that's about it. Send it over Rabi to a couple of Randolph players. Now East Brunswick will try to maintain control. Slipping in the box that time for East Brunswick was Gill. She was waiting at about the penalty mark, but she slipped, couldn't get a shot off. East Brunswick will try to run it down that far side for East Brunswick. Over there, Jamie Leiser. Ball is out of bounds. Leiser will take the throw, and she'll send it up over the head of Gill. Now Leiser with an opportunity from 20 yards out. Awfully high, awfully wide. If it was football, it would be good for 3, but in soccer, it's good for none. Over the goalpost, through the uprights. It's a goal kick one more time. For Koss, she's taken about 15 goal kicks in the last 5 minutes. 4 minutes, 12 seconds remaining, still tied 0-0. East Brunswick will try one more time. They have the pressure mounting. They're going to take a shot from about 25 yards out this time, maybe 30 yards that time. East Brunswick mounting an attack. Every time the ball is cleared out by Koss from that backfield, the East Brunswick midfielders are waiting for it. They reload and bring the ball through. But unfortunately, no one really with the sight set on putting the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think East Brunswick wants to try to get a little bit closer. I think the goalie's proven to this point that she can save the long ones.
Koss sends the ball to this near side to Kelly. Kelly sends it to Rabi. Rabi will chase it into the corner, and the ball will roll out of bounds over the end line. I'm going to assume it's going to be a corner kick, and yes, it will. Rabi knew that. That's why she didn't chase it. So Kelly will take the corner kick from this near side. Last corner kick was a dangerous one. The ball was launched into the middle. Koss came off her line, mistimed it, missed it, and it was a great scoring opportunity for East Brunswick. We'll see what happens. The crowd is yelling.
East Brunswick put everybody in the box here.
Kelly sends it into the middle. Rabi will send it up over the end line. It'll be a goal kick again for Koss. It's April Koss, the senior goalkeeper for Randolph. She's had to take an awful lot of goal kicks, an awful lot of punts this afternoon. If we had a shot tally, it would be blatantly obvious that East Brunswick has significantly outshot Randolph this afternoon.
Especially here in the second half.
Koss will send it out one more time. East Brunswick will be waiting for it. Randolph trying to poke one down the touchline. Kelly will prevent that. The ball stays in. Now Rabi will run onto it, and she'll allow it to bounce off the Randolph player out of bounds. Last touch by Randolph's Lindsay Steiger. It's out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in again for Kelly on the near side. She's going to send it again to Rabi. Rabi can't turn it. Out of bounds over the end line. We'll have a goal kick. Rabi thought it should be a corner kick. The referee signaling it's a corner kick. It is a corner kick.
Right here, East Brunswick should look to put everybody in the box except for the sweeper, who should hang around 40, 35, 40. They have nothing to lose right here. Randolph has not been dangerous at all in the last 20 minutes, so that could be a great, great opportunity.
Well, East Brunswick does bring their players up, not quite all into the box. There are 5 players in the box. The ball is sent straight into the box. We'll see what happens, and the ball is sent out of bounds over the end line. The far side referee is signaling that it was last touched by Rabi. It'll be a goal kick for the Rams. We're under 2 minutes remaining. It's still tied at 0. It looks like this game will head into overtime. Well, if nothing else, the one thing that you can say is these teams are evenly matched. It's something that you really hate to see in a state final game, is a team come out and destroy another team. But these teams are evenly matched. Neither team dominating this ball game. East Brunswick's had its swings, and Randolph has had its swings. As of now, East Brunswick has dominated the last 10 minutes, but in general, it's been a pretty even match.
Yes, it has.
1 minute remaining in regulation. The score still tied 0-0. East Brunswick and Randolph. It's the Group 4 state final. We're down to the final minute of this ball game. That is the regulation time. We will have the overtime period for you if it remains tied in the final minute. East Brunswick still keeps the ball in the offensive half of the field. No one running on the through ball. It'll be another goal kick for Randolph. Becoming a bit of a pattern here. I don't even think I need to watch the game. I can turn around and say the ball is sent out, midfield controls, midfield sends it back in, over the end line, goal kick for Randolph, because that's pretty much what's happened in the last dozen plays. One more time, goal kick will send over toward that far side touchline. Gubitosa will try to run it down the touchline. Finally, they're going to break the midfield line. Not for long, as East Brunswick will send it back up toward the midfield. Randolph will maintain control in the offensive half of the field. East Brunswick in the back, Allison Friedman. She hasn't played the ball in a while. Finally, she does. She sends it out of bounds over the far side touchline. It's a throw-in for Randolph. Good final opportunity. Actually, it's going to be a throw-in for East Brunswick, and that'll do it for this half. We're down under 10 seconds remaining. East Brunswick will not be able to get the ball in and up over the midfield line. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. That will end the regulation time. It's East Brunswick and Randolph tied at 0. It's the Group 4 state finals. East Brunswick and Randolph tied at 0. We're going to send it right to a break right now, and when we come back, we'll have the first half of 2 overtime periods right after this. It's overtime with the state championship on the line. East Brunswick and Randolph played 2 40 minutes of scoreless soccer. It's 0-0. East Brunswick and Randolph will now play 2 10-minute periods. 1 make-or-break play, and you're going home with a state championship.
That's basically what we're looking at right now.
If the teams were to remain tied, they will be declared co-champions. East Brunswick now switching sides again. They'll be moving from right to left. Randolph from left to right on your screen. 10 minutes are on the clock. East Brunswick is already out and set. Randolph, they're in their huddle. They're conferring their final moments. They'll take the field, and this is it. 10 minutes on the clock for this first period. Something that I don't know whether we mentioned, but if a goal were to be scored, it really would not matter in terms of the time allotted. There are 2 10-minute periods allotted, and regardless of score, those 2 10-minute periods will be played in their entirety. Randolph will take the kickoff in this first period. East Brunswick will get the kickoff the second period. Randolph gets set to take the kickoff. They'll go with 4 forwards up front. Ball's going to come out toward this near side touchline. A long through ball, a bit of a kick and run straight up to Betsy Ostro, so she's quickly tested in 5 seconds. She's going to have to pick the ball up and punt it out one more time, right back toward the midfield line, off the head of Bon Giovanni. 1 bounce and a good skip over the head of a Randolph player. Now Rabbie will run onto it. She's going to send a long ball up, maybe to try to send someone through. Kelly's going to run toward that far side, can't get to it. It's sent over toward the far side touchline, out of bounds. Herman over to it. She'll probably take the throw-in if it's an East Brunswick throw-in. No, she's going to leave it off for Kelly to take the throw-in. Aaron Kelly down the far side touchline, looking for the head of Rabbie. Rabbie turning on it. Gets another good East Brunswick bounce over the head of a Randolph player. Randolph will clear it up the middle. East Brunswick will try to control. Kelly again down the far side touchline now. Ball bouncing around a few times for East Brunswick. That's Amy Bizup over there. Bizup gets a good ball through. She'll try to chase the ball into the corner. A Randolph player will knock it out of bounds. Out of bounds that time by Susie Hutchins over the far side touchline in the corner. So it'll be a throw-in again for East Brunswick. Kelly over to take the throw-in. Soccer players don't tend to have tired arms, but you have to think that Erin Kelly is rather tired this afternoon as she's taking an awful lot of throw-ins, first on this near side, now over on that far side. The Randolph defense seems to poke the ball out as often as they can. Anytime they get the ball, they send it over that far side touchline.
Yeah, Randolph takes no chances in the back. As soon as they gain any kind of possession, they look to knock it out into a safe position there for themselves.
Well, the ball is sent in again on a throw-in, but East Brunswick unable to maintain control. Randolph will run it. Randolph brings it up toward midfield. Friedman waiting for it again. She's going to send it out of bounds over the far side touchline. It'll be a throw-in now for Randolph. The ball is sent in and over the head of Jennifer Weideberg. Down the far side touchline, signaled out of bounds. It'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. Again, Friedman to take it up toward midfield and sent out of bounds at the midfield line by Susie Hutchins. Throw-in, Erin Kelly down the touchline, running onto a Rabbie, see if she can get around Hutchins, and she's going to probably be called for a push. That's exactly what the call will be. Rabby will set the ball down actually for Randolph.
Get 'em, girls! EB!
Over to take the kick, Heather Steinman. Steinman right-footed toward the middle of the field. Bongiovanni over to cover, can't get to it. The ball is sent up now. Bongiovanni will run onto it, off her chest. She's going to try to switch fields, and she will. She'll send the middle for Gill. Gill gets around her player. Good scoring opportunity. Cuts back on it. Now she's going to send near side. Good run, good look that time. Getting a crack off on this near side for East Brunswick was Jamie Lizer. A really good look by Gill to feed this near side, or to feed this near side, the weak side, as everyone was pushing over far side for Rabby.
That's exactly what the game's been lacking. They got to start changing the fields. They did it that time. They did it once, created a great chance to themselves.
See if East Brunswick continues the momentum that they ended the game with. Gill will have the ball on the near side touchline. She's going to turn it up toward the middle for Rabby. Rabby will fake toward the near side. Now fake back. Good move. Sends it in for Gill. Gill with an opportunity from about 12 yards out. Can't get a right-footed shot on it. She touched it with her left foot, but couldn't get the shot off. It's cleared out by Randolph. And again, East Brunswick comes up empty. Randolph will send the ball up over midfield. Waiting for it for East Brunswick on this near side with Stacy Morgan. She'll send it out of bounds over the near side touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Randolph. Over to take it, Heather Steinman. Steinman sends it up over midfield, and I don't know if that ball ever came in. The referee's going to give it back. I say it never did come in, so Steinman will get a second opportunity to take the throw-in from the near side right in front of her own bench. This time she keeps it in and bounces in once and out of bounds quickly off of East Brunswick's Jamie Lizer. Just over midfield, it'll be another throw-in for Steinman. Steinman this time right to the head of Lizer, out of bounds again, so it'll be another throw-in for Randolph. Again, off the head of Lizer, but this time Lizer goes in toward the field. Randolph will try to run it back, support pass. Gill's going to try to break this one up. Lizer will step up, bounces off of her once. Also stepping up from the backfield to help out is Stacy Morgan. And the referee's going to stop play on a push against Randolph, so we're going to get a direct kick for East Brunswick from their own defensive half. Over to take this direct kick for East Brunswick, Stacy Morgan. Morgan will send the ball toward the middle of the field. No one really running onto it. Finally, Rabby will come onto it. She's double teamed and unsuccessful. That time broken up by Jessica Newpert. Now, Randolph will try running on the far side. Herman will break that up, and the referee is calling.
Looks like an obstruction call on Rabby there.
Interesting, a call that we don't see very often in high school soccer, but Rabby called for obstructing the ball and not allowing the player to get to it, while at the same time not playing the ball. So an obstruction, an indirect kick for Randolph in their own defensive half, just short of the midfield line. Ball is sent about 30 yards and off the head of an East Brunswick player, that time taking the header, Amy Bizup. Headed back by Randolph. The ball floats around in the middle third of the field. Neither team controlling right now. East Brunswick's going to try to string together some passes. They're going to bring it out near side, maybe for Gill or for Lizer. Lizer will run onto it. She's beat on this near side by Gubitoso. Gubitoso loses control of the ball out of bounds. And now Morgan will take the throw-in on the near side touchline. She has Lizer to throw to. Also, Gill, she's going to go over Lizer for Gill. Gill's going to lay it back for Lizer. Lizer can't get to it. It was a short pass. But now Bongiovanni gets good wraparound and a good opportunity. Bongiovanni with some running room. We'll see who has the speed on this one. Bongiovanni looks to go through on Rabby. A little bit wide. Now Rabby's going to have to chase it toward the touchline. She has Gill if she can cut it back to her. She cuts it back, but not far enough. East Brunswick to reload one more time. Kelly will wait on the out pass. Kelly tries to cut in. Two players to beat. She beats them both. Sends it into Rabby. Rabby one touch toward the middle for Gill. Gill can't wrap around and get a shot off on it. A lot of action, a lot of activity, a couple of opportunities. But again, no goals for East Brunswick. It'll be a throw-in on the far side for Erin Kelly.
Excellent turn in the midfield that time by Bongiovanni and playing the ball through up front to Rabby. Create dangerous chance for East Brunswick.
Kelly to take the throw-in. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this first period of overtime. Still tied 0-0. So we've now played about 95, 97 minutes of scoreless soccer. Costa take the goal kick. East Brunswick still, I think, having the upper hand in this overtime period. Maybe not by much, but they are keeping the ball in the offensive half, and they are getting the shots off. Kelly again will try to bring the ball in. Now Lizer will take the out pass. Lizer's going to send a long ball far corner of the box. We'll see if the keeper drops it. No, Costa comes up with it that time as she was challenged by Rabby. Costa will wait for Rabby to get out of her face. Now she's going to cut back and punt the ball, try to switch fields, actually go straight up the middle of the field over the head of an East Brunswick player. Headed out toward this near side by Stacy Morgan. Ball gets down the near side touchline for Gill. You hear the crowd expecting a call, none there. We're going to get a substitution instead. Checking into the ball game, Bloor one more time. Gill will take a seat on the bench. Stick thrown for East Brunswick, near side, Jamie Lizer. Lizer sends the ball in, and quickly it's sent out by Randolph. They'll send it up over midfield now. Herman has to chase this one down. Herman in a precarious position. She's able to get the ball out to that far side for Friedman. Friedman will run it as she often does from her sweeper roll. She finds a good look upfield for Bongiovanni. Bongiovanni will send it up to Rabby. Rabby can't really turn on it. Trying to poke it back to Kelly, but not a great pass. And now Randolph pokes together a good give and go. Finishes off the triangle on that one. East Brunswick's going to try to break it up. Randolph will maintain control. Gubitosa in control of it. Tries to go through an East Brunswick player. Unsuccessful. Rabby will control it up over midfield. She's going to run toward the far side touchline. She's fended pretty tight. She's going to try to launch one to the middle, maybe for Bloor. Bloor runs onto it and gets it. Good look. Bloor does have a couple of East Brunswick players coming out of the backfield if she could hold on to it for a minute or so. Unsuccessful. The play is broken up, and now East Brunswick will be on defense. Not for long. Aaron Kelly will break it up, and she'll launch a ball up looking for Rabby. A little bit short. It's broken up that time by Lindsay Steiger. Randolph comes out of their back, and they'll clear it up toward midfield. Herman will head it. Finds the head, and the ball actually bounces up. No call. That time bounced off of the hand of Nicole Douglas. No call by the referee. It's a play on. East Brunswick unable to get a shot off. Now finally a through ball. A launched semi-through ball, semi-shot by Jamie Lizer. She walks away shaking her head. Needless to say, it was an opportunity for East Brunswick. No goal again. 1 minute remaining in this first 10-minute overtime. We're looking at 11 minutes to the end of the of the Group 4 high school state championships. See the NCAA signs off to the side, and that was the thought that went through my head. But this is East Brunswick against Randolph in the Group 4 state finals. We're still tied at 0. 40 seconds remaining in this first half of overtime. Ostroff has to come off of her line, and she's challenged. She's in a bit of a dangerous position, about 12 yards out, dead center. She'll wait for the box to clear. She hasn't touched the ball probably in about 20 minutes. Now she finally does, and she'll punt the ball out. East Brunswick's going to run. Good opportunity for Bongiovanni. Bongiovanni will send it up for Rabby. Rabby can't control it. Rabby will try to run it over toward the far side touchline. She'll wait for it to go out of bounds and then pick it up, but the referee is going to signal that it was out of bounds against her. She disagrees. She thought she had the throw in, but Randolph's not going to wait. They put the ball into play very quickly. The ball rolls toward this near side. Stepping over the ball, East Brunswick unable to control. Randolph in a good opportunity to counterattack. They're going to try to string together, give and go, but that will do it. That ends our first half, and really nothing exciting in that half. Nothing to indicate that either team really wants it more than the other team.
No, nothing in particular as far as chances are concerned, but I would have to say that East Brunswick definitely did have the upper hand in that first overtime period.
East Brunswick has been dominating, but it's still tied at 0 now. I asked you this question at the end of the first half, and I'm going to ask it to you once again. You have 10 minutes remaining in your season. First, your coach, Lou Cosa, what do you tell your team?
I'm basically going to stick to what I said before. You have 10 minutes. There's no need to rush, okay? I think you want to play the ball to the outside. Let the guys on the outside, or actually the girls on the outside, do some work out there to switch the field, change the ball, create some space, because you need space if you're gonna do anything on offense. Also, for Randolph, they just got to start keeping some possession, because nothing's working for them right now. So when they gain possession, they got to look to string a few passes first before they go forward.
Okay, does Randolph's strategy change in any way, being that they've, as we both said, pretty much been outplayed in the last 10 minutes of overtime and also 20 minutes before that? Do they change strategy this late in the game?
Well, they might have to change a little bit of strategy, because it looks like they're a little more tired than East Brunswick is right now. So it looks like they might be trying to get out of this with a co-championship right now.
Conditioning and experience, certainly two important things to look at right now. East Brunswick, often known for their conditioning, they start training, as do all teams, back in August, but East Brunswick has been known to run a great deal. Coach Lou Cosa, Coach Brian Merrigan, they keep that team in tip-top shape, so we'll see if that is a factor. Also experience, we spoke earlier in the game. Both these teams have been here before, but East Brunswick is looking at their 6th time here, so certainly they will have the experience advantage. Seniors on the park for both teams. Number of younger players on the park for both teams getting some excellent experience. This is it. 10 minutes remaining in the season. you walk away either with a win, a loss, or a co-championship. We'll see who wants it more. There are 10 minutes on the clock. East Brunswick once again is on the field. One more time, they switch directions. They'll be moving from left to right now. On the other side, Randolph will still be in their huddle. When they come out of their huddle, they'll be moving from right to left. They come out of their huddle and get set on the field. It's a coaching duel. The coaches are both up and on their feet. Coach Luke Kosa for East Brunswick. For Randolph, Coach Ann Clifton. Randolph's looking for their 20th win of the season, coming in with 19-2-2, but it doesn't really matter how many wins or losses you have in the end. It's the state championship is all that matters. Bon Giovanni takes control of the ball. It was an East Brunswick kickoff. Ball rolls out of bounds. Over on that far side, it'll be a Randolph throw-in. And 10 minutes is a long time. Actually, it's even longer because the clock hasn't even started. We played a few seconds, and the clock is still at 10 minutes. I think, Charlie, that the things are working for us to never leave here today with some overtimes, and now the clock is still at 10 minutes. Final, the clock is started. Now we're 5 seconds into this half. East Brunswick will try to punch something through. Randolph on the attack now. Randolph bounces the ball around a few times. East Brunswick will try to send it up, but Randolph getting the better half of this one, chasing it over Kelly Gubatosa. She's going to get a good cross-off, but couldn't quite turn completely on it. It'll roll over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. Now, you mentioned 10 minutes is a long time. This is where I was going when I realized that the clock had stopped. But on the flip side, you do have a lot of young players. There's a lot on the line. You have to figure that a lot of these players are going to start to panic real soon.
Yes, well, on both sides there's young players, so we really might not notice it that much. East Brunswick has the upper hand with having 5 seniors out there, so we're not going to see too much of it, but maybe a little bit on Randolph's part. Looks like Randolph came out a little bit stronger in this second overtime here.
Randolph with the throw-in on the near side. It's quickly headed out of bounds by Aaron Kelly, so Randolph now with a good opportunity. A corner kick. I don't believe I've seen a corner kick from Randolph at all in the first overtime period, so an opportunity for Randolph, and as you mentioned, momentum seems to have swung a little bit. Randolph maintaining control of the ball in the offensive third of the field for the last minute and a half. Is there 8 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in this ball game? A lot of time clicking off the clock now. Finally, the ball is put into play. 6 players into the box. Dangerous situation. See if anyone can clear it out. Kelly gets ahead on that one. A couple of East Brunswick players. Finally, it is poked out by an East Brunswick player. Last getting a foot on that one for East Brunswick was Amy Bizzle. Ball sent out of bounds over the far side touchline. It'll be a Randolph throw, and Randolph doing an excellent job keeping the ball in the offensive half. Heather Steinman over to take the throw in for Randolph. She'll put the ball down the line. East Brunswick will try to clear it one more time, but Randolph there to counterattack again. Randolph keeping on the pressure. They'll keep the ball in, and Betsy Ostroff will have to come off her line. Dangerous situation. 2 players right in her face. She'll have to come out about 12 yards, and now she's going to clear toward this near side. Over the head of Kelly, waiting for it, a Randolph player. Now some botched play in the middle of the field, finally cleared out by East Brunswick. Rabi with an opportunity to take this ball down and only 2 players to beat. She gets around one of them, but she can't control the ball. Finally, she does step up and tries to lay it off to Kelly on a through ball. She beats her player and maintains control. She's going to run it into the corner and try to get a cross out. Lost control of it that time. Out of bounds over the end line, and the referee signaling it is a corner kick. So Erin Kelly will come over to take the corner kick once again. East Brunswick has been dangerous in this situation before. This could be one of their last chances as the clock is now down just under 7 minutes remaining in this ball game.
Get everybody in the box right here.
Kelly gets set, 6:52 remaining. She'll launch the ball in, and the ball is sent out by Randolph. Kelly will run onto it. She has about a half a step behind, is cleared out, waiting for it is Herman. She waits for it to bounce about a second too long. Now she's going to center it up. The ball is sent right back into the box. East Brunswick trying to keep it there. Randolph wants to poke it out. East Brunswick gets the better half. The ball is sent back in, looking for a through pass. Nothing happening. Randolph finally will clear it out, and Herman will have to backtrack. Herman's going to reload and send the ball right down the touchline. Looking a good through ball. Keeper's out and bobbles it. Excellent opportunity for Rabi. Rabi was about a half a step short on that one. The keeper, Koss, did bobble it. Rabi got a left foot in, but couldn't poke it completely loose. Excellent opportunity, but it's still 0-0. Randolph's going to run it over toward that far side touchline. East Brunswick will watch it roll out of bounds now. It'll be an East Brunswick throw, and picking it up for East Brunswick, ready to take the throw, and now will be Stacy Morgan. Morgan sends it down the touchline. The ball bounces at the feet of a Randolph player. Randolph's going to try to center it up. East Brunswick will clear it up over midfield. East Brunswick's going to make another run at it. Gill will run on that far side. She's a few steps behind the play, so the ball will be cleared out before she gets an opportunity. East Brunswick trying to keep it in the offensive half of the field. East Brunswick maintaining control. Now East Brunswick will try to reload, come near side. Rabi will take the ball. She's going to try to send someone through. She gets a through ball, and the referee's going to call a push. Now, you've been around soccer for a long time. Would you have called that on the advantage?
Definitely not there. Jeannie played a great ball into Bongiovanni, who in turn flicked it onto the corner. Could have been a dangerous opportunity. East Brunswick, referee blowing the whistle, takes it away.
See if East Brunswick can capitalize on this one. Erin Kelly will load. She's going to take a complete rip from about 40 yards out into the hands of Koss, who has to come off the line. She'll wait for the box to clear. 5 minutes remaining in this ball game. Ball bounces right to Kelly. Kelly looks like she may have hit it with her hand, but the referee must, or maybe I missaw it. It may have hit off her chest. No call, but East Brunswick is on the defensive again. This time, for the first time, Friedman is beat, but she does make an excellent second effort clearing it out toward that far side. Seems to be Randolph players everywhere as East Brunswick can't clear it out. Gubitosa will keep it in the offensive half. East Brunswick with their backs on defense. Randolph, couple of counterattacks now. And the referee is going to call a push or some sort of infraction against Randolph. Randolph fans aren't happy. The Randolph bench isn't happy, but East Brunswick will put the ball into play, and the referee is going to stop play. Probably going to see a card now. Most likely some sort of language or dissent over on that far side by the Randolph player. We do see a card, and that is a yellow card against the Randolph player. We'll see the number as she comes off. In high school soccer, a yellow card.
Gubitosa, looks like.
Gubitosa will get the yellow card. Kelly, that is. She'll come off to the sideline as Heather Schaefer will check in. Costly call is now she'll have to spend at least a few seconds off on the bench. In high school soccer, when a card is awarded, the recipient of the card must come off the field for at least one play, or at least until there's another substitution. So Gubitosa will take a seat on the bench, but not for long as she's set to check right back in. 4 minutes remaining in this game, and the clock continues to run as it seems strange because the clock should have been, or was stopped for a yellow card, and then it was restarted before the ball was put back into play. But now we're down to 3 minutes, 50 seconds in this Group 4 state championship game. East Brunswick will try to mount an attack. Randolph will run it toward this near side. Excellent defense by Herman. Dana Gubitosa on this near side. She's pretty much been silenced this afternoon. She's the player. She was the player to watch for, but she hasn't done much. Her sister, on the other hand, Kelly Gubitosa, has really been a dominating force in the midfield for Randolph. Now Randolph is going to run it into the corner, trying to get a cross off for Randolph. That was Susie Hutchins, and the ball will go out of bounds. We'll see a throw-in on the near side. Kelly over to take it again for East Brunswick. We're down to 3 minutes. Ball is sent hard down the line. Ball bounces in, and Rabi gets the better half. A good opportunity now for East Brunswick. Rabi will bring it out of the backfield. She's going to send it long, maybe to try to get Gil. Koss comes all the way out of her box. She can't pick it up anymore. She's going to one-touch it. Actually, she'll stop it and then send it off to that far side. And Randolph will try to reload and bring it down the far side. Rabi cuts across the field for Rabi. These are our final moments of high school soccer. For a number of players that we mentioned earlier, these are the final moments. We're now down to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. East Brunswick will attack one more time, try to go through the middle. Rabi gets one off toward this near side. Kelly will run onto it, see if she can get a shot off. She's going to try to chase this ball out of bounds, maybe get a corner kick out of it. Actually, she'll get a throw-in out of it. She's playing against the clock, and she's looking for a ball now. Ball girl a little slow to get to her. Finally, she does. The referee's going to stop the play, but the clock continues as we have a substitution. Bloor is going to check in, and Gill will check out. Playing against the clock right now, kind of a dangerous situation. Ball's put into play off the head of Rabi. Rabi will try to keep it in. She's double-teamed, needs a support pass. She finds one to Kelly. Kelly will stop it and try to turn it in on a cross. Her player fends her toward the corner, and her player knocks it out of bounds. A corner kick situation for East Brunswick. A great opportunity. You're calling for everybody to be in the box.
Yes, at this point in the game, there's a minute 30 left. Everybody in the box. Make something happen in there. Randolph's got all their players in the box. There's no reason for 4 defenders to be back for East Brunswick.
The ball is sent down, and we have a handball. This could be the game decider. A penalty kick for East Brunswick off of the corner kick. The big gun for for Randolph. Got the handball that time. I believe that handball was called against Dana Gubitoso. Their leading goal scorer is called on the handball. You see a couple of East Brunswick players literally praying. Betsy Ostroff in the back is hoping that
I don't think Ostroff believes what happened right now.
no one can.
She's in awe.
This is a tough way to decide a ball game.
It hasn't hit her yet.
1 minute, 21 seconds remaining in overtime, the second period of overtime of the Group 4 Girls High School State Championships. A senior, Jeannie Raby, who's done a lot for this program, has one last chance to leave her mark. She'll face off against April Koss, the senior goalkeeper. The senior versus the senior in their final ball games. It's almost a sure shot, but you never know.
Jeannie's mom can't bear to watch.
Everybody's praying from the side. 1:21 remaining. Shot in the corner. It's a goal. Jeannie Raby puts the game go-ahead goal through and probably the game winner. East Brunswick will most likely capture the Group 4 state championships on a handball against Randolph. We have 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining in this ball game. It's overtime, and it's a hell of a way to end a career.
Yes, it is. As you mentioned before, people got to step up. Last game of her senior season, here she goes. She can't end it any other way.
Should give some credit there to Erin Kelly, who I guess unofficially should be credited with the assist, as she lofted the ball on the corner kick that caused that handball that Dana Gubitoso handballed. So now it's just a matter of seconds remaining in this ball game. 59 seconds remaining. The ball is brought up over midfield. East Brunswick just needs to maintain control of the ball and prevent Randolph from getting the ball upfield. The final minute of the ball game is kept on the field with the referee, so we don't know as the clock runs down. The referee is the only one who has the official time. The clock is stopped at 1 minute. Erin Kelly has it thrown on the near side. East Brunswick certainly in no hurry. They're in good shape. Jeannie Raby gets the penalty kick, the go-ahead goal, and what will probably turn out to be the game-winning goal in her final game, her senior game, the Group 4 state championships. It's a throw-in one more time for Erin Kelly on this near side, and East Brunswick will just try to keep the ball in the offensive half as long as they can. Randolph on the other hand, just wants to send it up. We're down to the final seconds. The referee looking at his watch, probably about 5 seconds left. He signals, raises his hand. That's it. East Brunswick has won the Group 4 High School State Championships. The final minute and a half of the ball game, it was a penalty kick that did it, and the senior, Jeannie Raby, the leading goal scorer for the team, put the game winner through. East Brunswick goes home state champions. Randolph will go home with the loss. So East Brunswick will wrap up their season at 19-2-3, Group 4 state champions. On the other hand, Randolph 19-3-2. They'll be the runner-up this year. Very exciting ball game. It did have its slow points, it did have its lulls, and it did have its periods where the teams did not play up to the caliber that they probably should have.
Yes, that's right. Game, for the most part, was played in the midfield. Very few dangerous chances for either team. East Brunswick maybe had more of the dangerous chances. And at the end, they got Erin Kelly, made something happen. Handball by the Randolph defense. Hey, and nothing's automatic. Great finish on the penalty kick by Jeannie Raby.
On the flip side, you do have to look at it from Randolph's perspective. If you were on the other side of the ball, or the other side, we are calling it from the East Brunswick perspective, but a tough way to lose a state championship game.
Definitely is, and the penalty kick in the last minute after playing regulation and almost two full overtime to scoreless soccer, to get a handball call against you in such a tight game isn't very easy to stomach there.
So that will about do it as the both teams get ready to shake hands. They're shaking hands, and they will accept their championship trophies. It's not the first one for this group. Coach Lou Cosa has led East Brunswick to a number of state titles. They've been here 6 times. This is their 6th already. A big victory. You see Coach Lou Cosa shaking the hand of the Randolph coach, that being Ann Clifton. A great season for her, 19-3-2, and the runner-ups to East Brunswick, losing on a penalty kick in overtime. Great game all around. We will wrap it up here from Trenton State College. One final time, it's East Brunswick 1, Randolph nothing in the Group 4 state championships. Quick thank yous to our technical crew of Peter Balsamo and Peter Canamassa. For my play-by-play partner, Charlie Namo, I'm Scott White, saying thanks for joining us and congratulations to East Brunswick for being Group 4 state champions.